The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
Ah!
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers,
You pig!
damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this Coach 'em Up Thursday, December 28th, 2023, this sports program starts now.
Football
is happening this evening. Week 17 of the NFL season will kick off this evening in the beautiful city on the lake, Cleveland, Ohio, as the Browns are 7.5-point favorites taking on the New York Football Jets.
Hell yeah.
Herb Street, now Michaels, Kaylee Hartung, and the entire Amazon crew are obviously pumped. It is their last Thursday night game. They've had a hell of a season.
Good year.
Good year over there at Amazon. Congratulations. I think record-breaking numbers they're going to say. And they are a new trailblazing platform in the digital world of streaming games. And we appreciate the hell out of what they've been able to accomplish in 2 short years. And it feels like tonight having Joe Flacco, David Njoku, Myles Garrett, Kevin Stefanski, Amari Cooper, fresh off a record-breaking day on prime time to kick off the second to last week of the regular season here in this year's NFL.
Jesus.
It's been a hell of a year.
Hell of a year.
A lot of incredible storylines, and there's still 24 teams alive. 24 teams have hope that they can make the playoffs. Will that change after this weekend? Absolutely. So let's enjoy every last play, every last tackle, every last touchdown, every last celebration. Let's enjoy it all because we're on the precipice of not having games.
Whoa. Easy.
We are.
Sometimes you got to remind people about the storm.
Yeah.
So whenever they see the sun on a Wednesday, they remember that that's a good thing.
Yep.
Sometimes we have to remind people that we're not too far away from having to really not talk about what NFL football is and have to talk about the bullshit that is around NFL football.
That's right.
And then on Monday, guess what's happening?
What's that?
College football playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay, Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl. That means there's, a finite amount of college football remaining as well. So whenever the Duke's Mayo Bowl is on TV, you need to watch it.
That's right.
Because Garrett Green and the West Virginia Mountaineers are going to run all over the University of North Carolina, and Neil Brown is going to end up getting a Mayo bath, even though he wore his hat and kept his jacket real tight. So it was really smart maneuver.
Yeah.
It was a really smart maneuver to not get any. He was wearing waterproof jacket.
Yep.
He was wearing a waterproof jacket. He had a hat on. He put his hand under the hat and tightened the neck thing. That's brilliant play by Neil Brown.
Is he praying?
Not very likable move.
Maybe he was praying because how happy and pumped he was that Jesus Christ gave him a nice dub over University of North Carolina in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. But nonetheless, there's not a lot of games left. So whenever you see Garrett Green running wild all over and Hudson Clement, who was a walk-on at the beginning of the season, catching the ball all over the place, and a 6'7" tight end making big-time plays, and a punter causing a turnover, shout out to Ollie. And then you see a big touchdown return from Beanie. It's like 30-10 might not look like a great game. But it's football, meaningful football, and we need to enjoy it all. Congrats to the Mountaineers beating the hell out of Michael Jordan's University of North Carolina.
Fake field goal out there, too, right?
Yeah, ran a fake field goal. It was awesome. Holder, boom.
See ya.
Trucking. Look at breaks a tackle, jumps up over somebody. First down and more. And what are we going to do with it? Celebrate, obviously, with the boys. Yeah, it was a great game for West Virginia last night. I actually dabbled with a little mayonnaise afterwards myself.
Nice.
It was hard not to hear Matt Berry and Coach Dan Mullen talk about every single type of Duke mayonnaise and not just dive into a deli sandwich. Had a lot of people tell me, that's Hellman's mayonnaise. That's Hellman's mayonnaise. No shit. I have no idea where this is. I've never heard of this before. Before they sponsored the bowl game, I had no idea that Duke's made a mayo. Hellman's mayonnaise is what I've been eating. A lot of people saying Hellman's is trash. Okay, it's not. You're wrong. But if Duke's is better, shout out to Duke's. Now, I'm going to need them in a squeezy bottle.
Right,
Have
yeah.
to.
And I'm going to need it at the house,
Yep.
but I'm a mayonnaise eater. So seeing that West Virginia are the Mayo Kings was a glorious thing yesterday. Then right into Oklahoma State, Texas A&M.
Whoa.
Then USC versus Louisville. I mean, last night was fantastic. We are in a great time, boys. Let's never forget it. The Talks Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer,
Dahn.
Cowboys Tone Diggs is here, looking fresh with a couple chains
Thank
up.
you. Appreciate it.
You know, you Paisans do show up in a big way. Speaking of a man who coached football for 36 years, our coach, the people's coach. Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Pagano.
Chuck. Wow.
Hey, you look awesome in your onesie there. So what are we wearing?
change up.
Yeah, what is this jumpsuit, tracksuit we got going here?
Little Leone,
Oh, yeah?
Commendatore,
Orlando.
Leone,
Made this company.
boxing gear. Yeah, 1900. You know the Italians dominated from like 1900 to 1955.
Oh, is that right?
Boxing championships.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that's because it's a judge sport, so I'm not going to assume anything. But
Just
Like
hey,
you are.
Well,
let us just enjoy
well,
a
I'm
moment.
just saying,
can we just-
humans
can the
making
people-
decisions, you know,
Do I need to
could
buy
be
you-
swayed.
they kept winning, too, because of one reason. They didn't want to help out in the world wars. That's just classic.
Actually, they were.
Whoa, geez.
You don't say that. They had a good run.
The Italians did a lot for
Actually,
America.
They had a good run in the
World
Middle
War-
all
East,
the
so-
wars.
World War
No
One,
way.
they basically won the entire thing.
Whoa.
World War-
Whoa.
Yeah,
World
they-
War One.
Now, there was another war where
I tell you, the
Italians...
Irish weren't involved.
Whoa. We
Excuse
were
me?
literally dropped
We're
on
gonna
a land
throw-
saying, welcome to town, here's a gun.
We're gonna
That is what they
throw
did.
a bunch of
We're not
potatoes at
getting into
people.
history right now. What we know
All
is
right, just saying.
what you said was wrong. But what
Yeah.
you
Can't do
said
it.
about the boxing, you know, there is a chance of maybe, so they're still talking about that in 2023 about
Yeah,
judges,
that's
that
right.
whole thing. But let's not take away from the fact that Commendatore Orlando Leone in Milan, right?
Yes.
In 1947 put this company together. What a fun thing to learn about this morning is this guy showed up looking like this today.
Beautiful.
You look
Absolutely
amazing.
beautiful.
You look phenomenal.
Coach, do I need to buy you white tennis shoes? Because, what are we doing?
That'd be perfect.
Could have shell tops on right now. Actually, I got him in there.
You're exactly right.
I know.
You're exactly right. Almost went out and bought me a new fresh pair of them.
We saw you walking around, and we didn't want to be the ones to say it because you're Italian, more Italian than I am. Italians, obviously, we saw Sean Stellato.
Right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Super fashionable, especially out on Milan and everything. We didn't want to do it.
Tough
The
week.
shoes, though, you could have closed that thing out with some nice fresh whites on there.
Ferragamo.
But nonetheless, you still look fantastic. You need to know that. Hey, thanks for coming, Chuck.
There you go, Chuck.
Thanks for coming, Chuck. Tonight, big one. Obviously, Jets and Browns kicking off Week 17. We'll have a lot of conversation about that as the day rolls on. But the big story of yesterday is that Russell Wilson was benched.
Whoa.
Yeah.
For the Denver Broncos. Now there's fallout happening everywhere. Literally, Russell Wilson's responding. Sean Payton's responding. Feels like the Denver Broncos organization is responding. We're getting quotes from everybody. But first, let's listen or look at Russell Wilson's likes, shall we?
Okay.
Because his likes tell us that Team 3 and Russell Wilson not exactly happy with the decision that he got benched, and also letting people know and remind folks all over the internet, Russ playing good football right now.
Oh, yeah?
Very.
So just a little heads up, Russ playing good football. So this is on his profile. These are his likes, people going to bat for him, talking about how great of a year he is having. Just a nice little reminder to the world that although I'm getting benched, let's not forget Russell Wilson, still Russell Wilson.
Yes.
Sean Payton got a chance to speak about the benching of Russell Wilson, and here is how he responded. And I'm fascinated to hear Chuck Pagano's take on his answer because I feel like this was something that was talked about when Sean Payton was interviewing for the job with the owner and GM, had to have been, with how massive this dead cap money is.
I get that, and yet I can't replace the entire offensive line. I can't bring in 5 new receivers, and if it continues over a period of time, then there'll be another guy here talking to you as well. This is something that, these are difficult decisions, and obviously there's more attention when it's the quarterback who's under contract, but different than maybe earlier decisions we've made with maybe last year's prior starters. I can just assure you one thing, and honestly, and I've said this to Greg and George a number of times, I'm just interested in winning. And it doesn't matter how, when you do this, for this long a period of time, that's all you're interested in because there's nothing like it. And then the other side of it, there's nothing like that either. So
Losing sucks,
Yes.
especially the Patriots.
that's kind of what it is.
So whenever he gives that answer and he says last year's previous starters, feel like the conversation was, I'm going to get my guys in here. Does that include Russell Wilson, who's under a massive contract? That had to be agreed to before he went there, right? This whole thing had to be talked about, do you think, or no?
Absolutely. At least the possibility of it. If things didn't go the way they were supposed to go, he is playing better. But what if you're like the offensive lineman? He just talked about, like, you can't replace Fowler. And then five wide receivers. I thought Sutton's a pretty good player. Jerry Judy's a pretty good player. There's some decent, but if I'm one of those guys, I'm thinking, okay, they just knocked this guy out of the building, right?
Yeah, I watched.
They owe a shit ton of money to.
A lot of money, unprecedented amount of money in dead cap and guarantees. Potentially, there was a conversation in October that they wanted him to waive his injury guarantee for 2024, 2025, which was another $37 million guaranteed if he was to suffer a catastrophic injury. When he didn't budge on that, they decided, all right, they're not going to move on with this guy anymore, but he was continuing to be the starter and play great football, and they rattled off a bunch of wins. It's getting messy over there currently, but I feel like Sean Payton has had the freedom to make any decision on how he sees fit. And this isn't about just this year. And I think next year they're even going to be like, yeah, we might not be great next year. But long term, I think the Waltons and the Walmart family believe that Sean Payton can build them a winner, and they just got to go through this. Not fun. Russ will end up somewhere. Sean Payton, I'm excited to see what he does in return now, because this is his ass. Yeah. Right? This is all on him.
How about George? How do you think that ends?
Oh, I don't.
George Payton.
Yeah, GM. I don't.
You know, because that wasn't his either. He was there. So obviously, I think all the power is in,
Sean Payton.
Sean's court.
Yeah. And I think he
so
knows
it'll
that
be
as well.
interesting to see if George makes a cut at the end of the year, if he wants to even stick around.
Yeah, and what does the future look like in Denver? We don't know. What does the future look like in a town down south? Will it be the home of an 8-time national champion? Because there's already a 7-time national champion, a 10-time SEC champion, a man who has joined us every single week this year, and we have gotten better, smarter, and also entertained by him. The greatest of all time when it comes to college football coaching. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach at Alabama, Nick Saban. How are you, Coach?
Doing great. How are you?
Hey, I'm fantastic. You're in the happiest place on earth, right? I saw you yesterday with Mickey Mouse. I think I saw you on the internet walking around with Mickey Mouse and Jim Harbaugh. How was the day? How was the festivities? I saw you in the back of a horse and buggy. I think they're doing parades for you. How is life right now? It's got to be wonderful, Coach Saban.
Yeah, well, these are the kind of things that when you go to bowl games, test your ability to have conviction to what you really want to accomplish, really want what you want to do. Disneyland is great. It's uplifting because everybody's happy. Everybody's got a smile on their face. You're waving at people. So it was a great experience, a good experience. Gave me an opportunity to congratulate Jim Harbaugh and his 3 players that were there on the great season that they've had. So all good.
I assume all you great coaches are just on a group text message together. Do you know Harbaugh well? How well and how often do you guys get to connect? And what was that conversation like?
No, it was just a greeting, basically of congratulations. I'm not a big text guy. I'm not a big call guy during the season. You try to stay focused on what's in front of you, which is your team and what you have to do to try to gain the respect that we've worked hard for all year long, but there's really no receipt of that unless you really finish the way you want to finish. So that's where the focus has to be right now. And players have been good so far, and we're going to play against a really good team. So that's what great competitors, really come to a place like Alabama for, is to have the opportunity to play in games like this.
Michigan's favored by 1.5 against your Crimson Tide, who have obviously developed and evolved all year to become the team that knocked off Georgia in the SEC championship. Has that been your messaging to the team, what we just heard there? Like, hey, we've accomplished a lot this year. We're SEC champions. We knocked off 29 straight wins, Georgia, back-to-back national champions. But if you lose the last game of the season, the entire taste in your mouth all offseason is the loss instead of anything good. Is that the messaging? Is that how you're kind of talking to the team? And how have they kind of responded to all of that?
Yeah, well, so far it's been, stay committed to what you have to do. Not just you personally, but the guy next to you, because we need everybody committed to be able to play the way we need to play against a good team. And that's what our focus has been. But I do think that the whole idea of finishing to gain the respect that you worked hard for all year long, you get really no receipt of that unless you finish strong and finish, because these games you've worked your butt off to get to the playoffs, and now you got to try to finish. And If you don't do that, you don't get any receipt for what you've accomplished all year long. So I think the players know and understand that, and they've responded well to it.
Okay, so you had the workout period, then you had the technique period. Now you're in past the game plan period, I believe, with your answer to Coach Pagano last week about how want to implement it whenever we're still back at home, and then critique it, kind of tighten it up whenever we get to Pasadena or to the Rose Bowl for our practices there. Everything going smoothly? We feel like we're right on course with everything, checking every box right now?
Yeah, the players have been good. They've responded well. We practiced well. We actually traveled here on the 26th and had a light workout to get everybody sort of acclimated to the time changes. And I think it's worked out well for us. We've had, really good energy and enthusiasm in practice, and guys been, executing well, but it's going to be a challenging game. They present lots of issues on both sides of the ball, so how well you can execute and adapt to that in the game is going to be, critical to having success.
This Michigan team a few weeks back against Maryland, Penn State actually, when Harbaugh wasn't coaching, they ran the rock 32 straight times. Like, as an old school football guy, I'm sure you got nothing but respect for that decision and for it working out. I mean, that is a hilarious thing to do in 2023. We're just going to run it the entire second half against another Big Ten team. But that's like what they're known for, right? I mean, they are a physical football team. On the defense, they got athletes all over the place. How would you describe this Michigan team? Is that accurate, what I'm saying there and thinking about?
I think they're very capable of being a smash mouth team if they want to. They use a lot of different personnel groups to get in big people, which is something you don't see a lot of in college football now. So something our players have to be able to adapt to. But, we want to be a physical team too. And so I do think, though, that when a team can run the ball on you, it's a little bit of a helpless feeling when you don't have the weapons out there to be able to stop that and create some positive down and distance for yourselves on defense. So you force them to do some other things. And some of that can be, schematically, what do you want to do? Some of these people now that do all this stuff on third down, play eyes coverage and blitz and play zone and do all these things. Sometimes you can keep people out of that if you can keep the down and distance in your favor. So I think some of that can be strategic in terms of how you go into a game and how you actually want to try to play the game.
Two brilliant ball coaches battling in Rose Bowl upcoming Monday, January 1st. These bowl games are awesome. There's always great clips that come out. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, speaking of that, sometimes when you're watching a bowl game, they'll show like the day before or 2 days before where teams are either playing tug of war on the beach or they're bowling against each other. Do you have any of those type of obligations for the Rose Bowl? Or just like, this is a college football playoff, this is the Rose Bowl, this is the granddaddy of them all, we don't have to do that here this week?
Well, I think that I trust our players to be able to stay focused when they need to be focused. I also think that when you go to a bowl game, they do have some activities that can be enjoyable for players. But the maturity that your players can show in being able to enjoy those things when they come up, whether it was Disneyland yesterday or, Lowry's one of these nights that they get to go to. I mean, they're all great experiences for the players. But, when we're coming to meetings and we're getting focused, everybody's got to have some conviction and focus on what we need to do and not allow those distractions to have any impact or effect on how you get ready to play the game.
What's the schedule for the boys? What do we got? Workouts in the morning? Do you treat it like you're back at home and then you got practice? Or how does it kind of all work out whenever you're on the road at a hotel?
Well, we try to make it as normal as possible, but we don't really control the times that we can practice totally because of some of these activities that you guys are mentioning. But like we start at 10:15 a day with our special teams meeting, and I think by the time we get to the practice site, it'll be like 12:40 walkthrough, and sort of a regular Wednesday for us, even though it's a Thursday, looking at how the game week transpires. So. We got our emphasis on what we're going to work on today, third down, red area, whatever it might be, and that's what we want our players to be focused on.
Did you take your Lambo Ferrari? Did you get your Ferrari shipped out there so you can drive around? Did you get that? No?
Hell no.
They have those that could do that, I don't know. Ty has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, Pat mentioned it off the jump, and obviously your resume, 7 national championships, you've won 10 SEC championships, so you've done this so many times, but before a game like this, will you still get like some nerves maybe the night before, like some nervous energy personally, and also like Do you subscribe to kind of that old notion? Like I had some coaches say, like, hey, if you're nervous before a big game, that just means that you kind of put in the requisite amount of preparation to kind of get ready to go do what you need to do.
I think I don't think you ever lose this. I mean, Chuck could probably address this too. I don't care what game you're playing or who you're playing. I think as a coach, you always have a certain level of anxiety. Every day in practice, in preparation, are the players getting what you want them to get? Are we executing it the way we want to execute it? And, that leads up to the game. But, sometimes as a coach, you're thinking of all the good things that can happen in a game and things you prepared for, but you're also thinking some things that, could go wrong in the game and how you're going to respond to that in the game and how you're going to adjust. So I don't think that little bit of nervous energy ever really goes away. And with me, it's kind of there every day. I mean, even for practice, I want to have a good practice today, and I want the players to have good energy and enthusiasm in what they're doing so that we all have confidence that we're going to go in the game and be able to execute these things when these issues present themselves.
So he asked a follow-up question there about like the nervousness that you earn and the pressure that you've worked hard for. And I don't think I ever really got nervous for anything. Like you could kind of drop me anywhere and I'll just kind of act as if it's almost the complete opposite way. Like I didn't care enough about the situation. Like I didn't know enough or locked in about the situation. So I had to like mature in that entire situation and facet of my competitive juices. Do you know like when a guy is seemingly like having a tough time dealing with the moment? And like, have you had to talk to people about handling the pressure and things like that in the past? Because I think whenever we think about the Alabama roster, it's like 5-star guys made for the moment, superstar, spotlight, but every game's big for Alabama. Mm-hmm. Every single game is a massive game. Do you ever have to deal with that with guys that you recruit, or does that ever happen?
I think the bigger issue with young guys is not necessarily the anxiety or the pressure that you're talking about. It's how do they handle sort of all the external factors and things that are happening around them so that they can stay focused when they need to actually on the field. Because there's a lot of things going on in college football right now. You got transfer portal, you got guys getting ready to go out for the draft, you got people calling the players, trying to get them to do various things. So, and I think the sense of purpose that a player has and understanding that the only thing that creates value for you is to play well. And if you're going to play well, you got to prepare well. And if you can be mature enough to understand that and handle that, then it's not really necessarily the pressure. It's are you able to stay focused to do the things you need to do to be at the top of your game individually, because that creates value for you, and it also creates value if everybody on the team can, do their job well. So when I said early, everybody's got to have, a commitment to doing their job, but you also got to have a commitment to make sure the guy next to you is doing your job, because football is a great team game. So if all 11 guys don't execute, bad things can happen. So that's what we're trying to avoid. That's what we're trying to get guys to stay focused on. And I think our team's been pretty good about that so far.
Isn't it crazy how much the preparation is literally the answer to everything? Hard work is literally the answer to everything. And those massive moments, I've been very lucky to get to a couple of those by riding the coattails of great teams. It's like when you start thinking, you literally just go back to your fundamentals. And when did your fundamentals happen? Well, in all your work. It's like, it's a wild thing that I think some people in the modern age, and I also had this whenever I was just getting started in the football world, my freshman year, sophomore year of college there. It's like everybody thinks there's a magic bullet. Like you become great or you can do this. It's like the amount of work doesn't show up until it shows up. In a college football playoff game is certainly one of those situations where everything's at its peak and you have to be great everywhere. Don't you agree with that, Coach Saban?
Absolutely. And it's cumulative effect. Cumulative effect of the habits that you create. And I think one of the things that you mentioned about fundamentals is when you don't play for a long time, that's one of the big concerns. Are you going to use the right footwork in blocking a guy? Are you going to create the right habit in how you run a route? Tackling becomes a huge issue for defensive players, when you haven't played for a long time, because you don't really tackle in practice, but you got to get yourself in position to tackle. So, all these fundamental issues are things that I think can create really good performance. And that's something when you don't play for a long time that you're really concerned about, trying to get your players to play with good fundamentals.
In the NFL, those first 3 preseason games and then the first 4 games for the guys that didn't play in preseason, there's a lot of guys just kind of getting out of tackles. This break between this bowl is why we've talked about it with early signing day, portal stuff, obviously the holidays. Now we have a game that is the biggest game of the year. It's insane how you got to manage it all. You've been able to do it, though, obviously, more than anybody else. You're the guy. Coach Pagano has a question for you, Coach Saban.
Hey, Coach. I was fortunate enough to be able to coach NFL PA Bowl in L.A. in 2019, the year I was out, year I came to visit you guys, the first of that 2018 season. That hotel, from a logistics standpoint, it's the Intercontinental Hotel I believe you're staying at.
Jeez.
And check-in is on the 70th floor.
Okay, all right.
You got to go down to go up and whatever.
This guy's got an Italian jacket on right now, just outing everything.
What the hell?
Take it easy.
I think Nick's got some pies on him. But from a logistics standpoint, I'm guessing you haven't been going to the Rose Bowl every day. Will you go to the Rose Bowl at least once, do your final walkthrough, give them an idea what the locker room's like? Because having been there recently, it's an older facility. I mean, iconic facility, but the locker room is not the greatest of locker rooms.
Wow.
From a high school standpoint, where have you been going logistically, the bus ride, traffic, all that stuff? Has that been okay?
Yeah, it's been great. We're working out at this facility. It's a good facility. We got 2 really good practice fields. Players have been good about it. I'd never been one to take the players to the game site the day before the game. Even when we play on the road and we get there on Friday, we usually get there, in time to have dinner, have meetings at night, get up the next day and go play the game. And so we don't have any plans to go to the Rose Bowl prior to the game. I always tell the players that, the field's going to be 53 yards wide and 100 yards deep, and they're going to line it off a certain way, and we got to go play. So, maybe that's not very smart on my part, but
it's worked.
Won a few games.
I don't know if you see the number underneath your name there. Yeah, I think it has worked because it could become something where you overthink it too, where it's all right, we're here. Guys are starting to think about this and that. I didn't like the way you were talking about the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, whoa.
What were you saying?
It's the granddaddy of them all.
Yeah, what are you talking about? They had a parade.
Yeah,
come on.
I love the role. My first year in coaching, I was at Southern Cal.
Sure.
We played Ohio State, Coach Saban, and it was 1984, my first year GA, and we played Ohio State, beat them 20-17.
Suck it, AJ.
The Rose Bowl's awesome.
Yeah,
just a little bit. So just be prepared for that locker room, Coach.
Coach, you started Big Ten, obviously, where your coaching ranks were. Michigan State, every time they have a coaching job open, they're like, Saban's coming back. Saban's coming back. But the Rose Bowl obviously holds a very near and dear place in your heart, I assume, from a coaching standpoint.
Yeah, well, 2 years at Ohio State, 10 years at Michigan State. It's, as you guys have said, the granddaddy of them all. And when you're in the Big Ten for 12 years, that's everybody's goal. Because in the old days, the Big Ten champ got to go to the Rose Bowl, and that's the way it was, and that's what everybody was shooting for. So I've always held, the Rose Bowl in very high esteem. And a couple opportunities that I've had in 2009, we played Texas here, and I was at Michigan State. We played USC here once, but in the Rose Bowl. So this is a first-class bowl game. It's a first-class organization. It's a first-class city. It's a great place to play. I think the whole Rose Bowl itself in Pasadena has a unique, sort of setting for, players to be able to compete in. So this is a great experience for our team and our players. And, we just got to do what we got to do to finish.
Hell yeah, Coach. Well, enjoy it all. And if you see Mickey Mouse again, make sure you let him know we think maybe he lost his fastball a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. We don't 100% sure. Haven't been around. Just watch. You're not saying that's the case. Mickey Mouse still has his fastball?
Well, the only thing I know about that picture is Mickey Mouse is the only guy that I was taller than in the whole picture, which made, that helped my ego a little bit.
Let's bring Mickey Mouse around more often. Ladies and gentlemen, head coach of Alabama, 7-time national champion, just days before college football playoff at the Rose Bowl against Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Nick Saban. Thank you, Coach.
Good luck, Coach.
You guys have a good one, man.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. See you out there. A lot earlier than I thought.
Yeah, that's right. Still got to figure that out.
What's that mean?
We got Saturday game day. Saturday game day, live from Pasadena.
Let's go.
I'm pumped. 3 hours,
So
full length.
you're actually going for a walkthrough before the walkthrough.
Oh,
before
yeah.
the game.
And then we got game day Monday morning, too. January 1st. Happy New Year. It's 2024. Game day live from the Rose Bowl. And then, obviously, MegaCast Field Pass on the Rose Bowl during the Rose Bowl.
Sure.
So, yeah, we got a big weekend coming.
Is there a game in the Rose Bowl on Saturday? Is that why you guys are going there?
There's a lot of bowl games happening.
Yeah. No, I mean, just like, is there one there?
I don't know if there's any in the state of California, actually. Not just at the Rose Bowl past the. I don't know if there's any in the entire state of California, which is a big state. But college football is alive on Saturday.
Oh, yes.
And it's the last one of 2023.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's the last game day of 2023.
That is an amazing setting, what he's talking about. Pasadena and going. Used to go to Santa Anita a lot, horse track. And that
Why'd
was
you
on
go
the
there?
way. Why?
Yeah.
Just watch horses. I love horses.
Yeah, of course.
Looking
for glue.
This guy's awesome.
Well, it is
Speaking of that type of
shut
stuff,
down now because
what happened? All the horses died?
Yep.
Yeah.
That is a part of that whole thing that we have a horse owner in the back, actually. Dead horse, I believe now. How come that happens? They just, what's that?
Max Player isn't dead. Also,
Well, every time we bet on him, Max Player was nowhere near the winner.
we went over my Santa Anita theory where I do think that the wildfires in the area had something to do with the air quality and getting into horses' lungs and them dropping dead on the racetrack.
All right, thanks, Bruce.
There's some other things that have to do with it, too.
Brucey loves horses.
Bruce does love horses. And he took it on the shins there a bit whenever the horse racing community was going through what the horse racing community is seemingly going through. And Max Player is now retired.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations. Hell of a run. A couple times.
Retired. Okay.
Never see that horse again. That seems to be the horse racing move. But hopefully Max Player is just
Was he
delivering
part
the seed forever.
Yep.
Is he part owner?
yeah, his name was right there.
Yeah, it was on there.
They ain't using his seed.
Max Players?
Yeah. What did we say before?
was a good
Every
seed.
time we saw Max Player, it was a loss. I don't think they're using loser seed.
Nah, you don't.
Finished third in the Belmont.
Yeah, you mix that with
Third.
Philly.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You never know. You put Max Player together with a good Philly,
Got power.
he'd create the next American Pharaoh.
Oh, okay.
Well, they be racing still with how they got to deal with these horses. Because no offense, love the jockeys, great personalities.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I don't even really hear them talk much, but I do like the way they operate. We love those ponies,
Yeah,
Love
we
him.
do. Like
and it's tough to watch sometimes when it's like, and that's the last gallop that horse took right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, why? Sprained an ankle. It's like,
Sprained an ankle.
That's it?
this horse been training for 10 years.
What are you doing?
Dead.
Yep.
Seen them lie down, too. They can sleep lying down.
Yes,
I don't
they
know
can.
why that's the theory.
yes, it can.
Bruce, would you like to speak up?
He was fourth at the Belmont.
Oh!
What a liar.
Off the podium.
Just a little one, he said.
Off the podium.
Just a little lie. You'll never know.
No. Somebody must have been scratched or something. It was third.
All right, let's
Scratch
talk
from the
about
earth.
some stuff happening around the NFL. We dove into the Russell Wilson stuff a little bit, and obviously we'll continue to have that conversation because Jerry Jeudy spoke out of his locker about it. We will continue to talk about it today, we promise, because that's a massive thing. Now, the conversation is Russell Wilson a Hall of Famer? I mean, he's got multiple Super Bowls. I mean, he will be a conversation for sure. I don't think he's anywhere near done either. 35 years old,
no.
was playing great football, was liking a lot of the tweets that were saying he's a good football player. I think Russell Wilson's going to have another good opportunity. Maybe New England, maybe Pittsburgh, maybe
Minnesota.
Atlanta, maybe
Minnesota.
New
anywhere.
Orleans.
Literally, there is a lot of
Indianapolis.
quarterback. We got Anthony Richardson, Gardner Minshew.
Hopefully.
So I love Russell Wilson. I don't know if Sierra would want to come here. Remember, at one point they did have a wish list. Team 3 put out on where they would go. Chicago,
Oh,
Yeah.
Ooh.
Las Vegas.
New York, I think was one of them.
Sure. The big markets.
Because the Giants are paying Danny Dimes.
Yep.
One more year, really.
Yeah, because the way the contract was set up.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's going to be suitors for Russell Wilson, and he's getting $30-some million guaranteed already, and he's going to make $124 million in his time with the Denver Broncos. Not a lot of dubs, obviously a chapter in his life that he will look past and move along and hopefully just draw some inspiration from. But he said, God's got him.
That's right.
God's got him.
thank you, God.
God does.
He got him 124 M's, too.
More than that.
God's got him.
I know.
God had him. God gets him. God got him.
What's he made
All
in
together.
his career?
Remember, he was he was fourth rounder, third rounder? Third rounder. So his first contract, whenever they were winning, was just like what Brock Purdy's going through right now. So a lot of his money had to be earned like in off the field adventures as opposed to the salary that he was making for the team. Then he signed a massive deal. He was in bed, 100-some million, remember? Then he gets traded to Denver, another renegotiate, another $100 million deal. So I would assume he's up there like 150 million, 120 million.
Yeah.
I'd assume.
Danger
says,
Witches in its prime was moving.
I think 266 million.
That's total contracts, but I think he was traded in the middle of one of those contracts, right? So then
that was the extension the Denver gave.
Yeah, what kind of sits on top of what cancels out who, carry the one, drop the two. We have no idea, but yeah, God got him pretty good.
Yeah. He's going to be the backup, right, to Stidham?
This weekend?
This week coming up, right?
No way they're dressing him, right? If it's an injury thing, there's no way he's dressed, right?
Well, if he's the backup, you got to have two guys up.
Well, Denver Broncos, remember, they had that wide receiver.
They did.
A couple of years back playing quarterback. There's a chance. You never know with that entire thing.
But why would you do that?
True.
Knowing that, hey, way quarterbacks are going down? This guy goes down and he's got to go in, and because the whole part of it is they can't get injured, right?
So right now it's just two quarterbacks on the roster. We will assume they'll sign another one, bring somebody in, but we have not heard that. If we hear that, we will certainly let the world know. Yesterday we heard from Schultz Report of Bleacher Report.
Wow.
Little latte, Jordan Schultz. He had a little tea about what was going on behind the scenes at the Denver Broncos, and he broke it on Instagram.
Ooh.
Sources to Bleacher Report. Now, that is Schultz saying to him.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's doing the whole, because he got signed. Hey, we seen this guy when he was just
Sweet boy.
Cutting his teeth.
just walking through the streets of New York, going into one of his family's penthouses.
Yep.
When he was down in Mexico, going in one of their villas. When he was in the mountains at one of his log cabins.
Right. Yacht.
And Schultz could easily be taking any other job than insider for the NFL that he wanted. He could have his feet up on a desk at Starbucks Corpo for the rest of his life, making an absurd amount of money to do very little work. Okay, very little work. Just what I have to do is thank his dad, obviously, the whole thing. Instead, he said, you know what I want to do? I want to get in the waters where everybody's pissed off at everybody, deliver bad news. I want drama, and he's in it. So we are very proud of Schultz making the decision he's making. And also now he's starting to become a little bit of a...
Oh, yeah.
He's in it.
A couple years ago, whenever we were first introduced to Schultz, he was batting 350.
Sure.
Yeah.
Baby.
Yeah, maybe 330. You know what I mean? Baseball, that'll make you into the Hall of Fame. But if you're in the NFL news breaking world, it's like every time he breaks something, you got to think to yourself, is that real? Is that not real? Because trying to be legit, but I think he was getting duped early. Now it feels like he has properly placed sources.
Starting to become a power player.
Congrats to Schultz. Yesterday, he basically broke the news that after an October 29 upset win over the Kansas City Chiefs, the Denver Broncos told Russell Wilson he'd be inactive the rest of the season if he did not adjust his contract and defer the injury guarantee trigger date that he has for 2025. Wilson has $37 million in injury guarantees for 2025 that will become guaranteed no matter what on the 5th day of 2024 league year in March. So if he's not able to pass a physical on that particular day, that money becomes guaranteed. If he's on the roster on that particular day, that money becomes guaranteed. So they basically told him that if he didn't waive the injury thing, so if he does get injured here in these last few weeks, let's say something happens to a knee, if he's not able to pass a physical in March, all of a sudden the Broncos will be on the hook for another $37 million on top of the 100 and whatever million they're already paying him for a couple years worth of work that nobody is going to write a book about the success of. So this news seems like a little bit of drama. Why would Russell Wilson ever agree to that? And then how was the relationship immediately upon then with Russell Wilson basically understanding that he was probably going to get let go by the Denver Broncos after this season ended? How would you handle that as a coach? How do you think that went with Russell Wilson? That's an uncomfortable situation all around. And I don't know how. I don't know how that stayed
you want
quiet.
Me to have this conversation? Like they're going to come to you and say, "We need to have this conversation." What do you mean we need to have this conversation? I don't want to have this conversation with this kid.
Yeah.
Why would you do this to? I mean.
That's a tough convo. If this is the truth, and Diana Rossini kind of The Athletic came out afterwards and said, like, yeah, what you're hearing is true. Words around the league were saying this because I would assume Russell Wilson's team, Team 3, which there's a lot of people have friends in other places, and they're like, listen to what they're just trying to ask Russell to do. They're trying to get him to waive a guarantee. It's like, that is starting quarterback.
Yes.
If they're done, right? If that ship has sailed, the juice isn't worth the squeeze anymore, then you move on. And whatever you're going to have to pay, you're going to have to pay. And if, you're not going to go to a guy and ask him that. I find that hard. I would never go to a guy and say, you need to remove this, otherwise we're going to do this.
That's bad business.
How about your locker room? How about the rest of the guys? How about free agents? How about free agents that are coming? Hey, you want to come play? Was this true? Yeah. What you did to... Russell Wilson.
This is insider Schultz and Rossini. We're not 100%. I'm sure the Denver Broncos have their side of the story.
Right, but can you imagine Sean Payton and staff trying to convince guys to come in there when you got this stuff? Did this really happen? Just the idea that something like, because we know it's a rough business and it can become dirty. Like, this is dirty. This is bad.
Yeah, it's not good to be known for either, especially with somebody who's as public as Russell Wilson.
If it's true.
If it's true, that is a tough move. But you heard the way Sean Payton answered that one question about like moving forward, and he said what previous year's starters. So what he said a lot in that full thing.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, but all he cares about. But whenever he described Russell Wilson in other moves that were made that weren't quarterbacks as previous year starters, it's like, oh, he wants this to be like his team, like how I build this team, which takes me back to thinking like when Sean Payton interviewed for these jobs, he certainly brought up the potential of moving on from Russell Wilson if it doesn't work after 1 year, especially with how Russ looked last year in Nathaniel Hackett's offense, which has 10 touchdowns on the season.
That's right.
Joe Flacco also has 10 touchdowns in like 3 weeks. So it's like, I think this was something that was maybe cooking for a while. And Sean Payton was almost, I don't know what week it was this year, but at some point he was like, yeah, I'm moving on from this guy.
Yeah.
And then he's still their starter, though, at that time. Because you hear Darius Butler the other day, he's like, they're running this basic offense. Like, he's treating him like he's a rookie, undrafted quarterback, pretty much. On first down, they're doing this. On second down, they're doing this. There's really no creativity. It's like, at what point did Sean Payton be like, I don't want to do
He's the ultimate game manager right now.
Russ?
Yeah, for what they're asking.
Having good numbers, though, they're saying.
No,
They're saying he's having good numbers.
I mean, don't go outside of this plan. This is what we're doing. And it's not been bad. I mean, that's their formula for winning right now, I guess. But
if they don't go on that winning streak, this probably happens a lot earlier.
But but they're 1-5. They started 1-5, and then after they beat the Chiefs, I think they were 2-5 or 3-5. It's not as if they were terrible, and that was the first win on the way back. But of course, the team seeing like the new linemen and new wide receivers, they probably have something to say. But if you're another quarterback in the NFL and you see a guy who has 20 touchdowns and 6 interceptions and his coach isn't happy with him, how are you thinking as far as considering that a place to sign? Or are they just going directly to draft? So then it's, hey, I'm going to mold this kid.
Well, Sean Payton could just say, I never wanted this guy.
That's what I'm saying. He'll say to everybody.
No,
when other players are coming in for free agency. And
I didn't do this deal.
Yeah, Sean Payton's like, you're my guy. He was not my guy.
I inherited.
And I'm excited to hear, just like whenever the Seattle exit happened, like the anonymous.
Right.
The anonymous.
Boy, that was messy.
I'm excited to hear what Denver's anonymous are saying because remember, it wasn't too long ago when the conversation was he has his own office upstairs.
No
he has his own parking spot. He does his own thing. It's like there's going to be people probably anonymously coming out from Denver saying, this guy he was doing John Elway. Okay, John Elway is a president and won Super Bowl Hall of Fame. This guy's asking for, like, I'm assuming that's the next step of this entire thing, especially with the likes on the Twitter account.
But like you said, like the timing still seems weird because they ripped off that winning streak and they were back in playoff contention. So you have to almost think that Peyton was like, hey, we can't make the playoffs this year because if we do, then I probably will be stuck with this guy. So for them to kind of get back in the playoff picture and then get beat on Christmas Eve in the Holiday Classic and be like, okay, this is kind of the room now we can cut bait, like that just seems kind of fishy. Like it doesn't really make sense.
I like fish, especially this time of year.
The undressing
on the sideline.
On the sideline after an offsides penalty that they called on offense on a touchdown.
Feels like there's been a lot brewing. Yeah. What does Sean Payton tells us whenever you watch his film? He like lights a candle. It's like he's an all-nighter type guy.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Him just walking around that office going, I hate this guy. I can't with this guy. He's going to come here tomorrow, ask for some ridiculous thing. And he's going, we got to pay him. He can't even make.
Tell us, God got us. That's not how it works for us.
Sean, I don't know if you saw my movie, okay? I was fired. I was coaching high school football.
Yeah.
Kevin James.
Wait, is that a good?
Yeah.
Do I need to watch that?
It's a documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean Payton, pretty good thespian as well. He was mopping Kevin James's office at the end of it.
Yep.
Grew his hair
Sean
out
Payton,
for
a
it.
character, dude. Like, if we think back to the success that he's had in the NFL, you start looking at his win and losses. It's comparable to everybody else that we talk about being great coaches. And then he's out of the game and he crushes it on TV. Then he comes back in the game, is kind of handed all this, everything. So now if they get worse after this entire thing, that's his entire legacy. And Sean Payton's a great football mind. Russell Wilson, great football player. Excited to see where they end up next. They're not the only team that has quarterback conversations happening right now.
Oh.
Let's go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers obviously are coming off their greatest offensive performance of the season with Mason Rudolph leading them to a massive dub over the Cincinnati Bengals in Acrisure Christmas weekend. Now, they were playing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Had a very strong arm when he played before. He might have sucked, but he's great now. That's what they were playing afterwards in Acrisure.
Yeah.
Okay, full character arc for Mason Rudolph in Pittsburgh. From saying this guy needs to be out of town, he's not supposed to be in Pittsburgh, this guy sucks, to actually the entire stadium chanting for him, and then him showing up and having a record day, and George Pickens having his best day, and Jalen Warren blowing people up, and the defense doing their thing, and the Pittsburgh Steelers looking like a kind of a good football team for the first time, long time. Now they're in playoff conversations, cemented back in it. They might have Defensive Player of the Year and TJ Watt, who leads everything.
Or
but
Comeback Player of the Year.
Who's going to be starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Well, let's hear Mike Tomlin at a press conference talking about both Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett potentially being available.
Same position with Kenny as we were last week. We'll give him a few reps and kind of see where that leads us. But just as I said a week ago in this setting, Mason Rudolph was scheduled to be the quarterback for the week, and we'll see where Kenny is. We have the same mentality as we start this week. Obviously, we have a great deal more comfort because of what we've seen in stadium from Mason Rudolph, and that helps us. But we still really are in the same posture. He's got the ball to start the week, and we'll see where Kenny is from a mobility perspective, and then kind of go from there and plan day by day based on the things that we see from that perspective.
So Coach Tomlin, obviously a phenomenal quote every single time. He took me on a ride there. There was a couple times I'm like, Mason Rudolph's the starter. Kenny Pickett's going to be the starter.
Hold on.
Mason Rudolph's got the ball. That's our posture. Okay, now we're here. Didn't really give any answers. But what I think I heard was if Kenny Pickett can move well and he looks like he's 100% back, maybe Kenny Pickett will get a little bit more of an opportunity. But instead, Mason Rudolph's going to go. Let's hear from Kenny Pickett on how this entire injury and sitting out has gone and what his thoughts are on the Mason Rudolph-led Pittsburgh Steelers.
Do you feel like you would have to be 100% to be able to go on Sunday?
No, that's not my call. That's a trainer's call.
Having the chance to step back and be on the sidelines and see the game from a different perspective, has it allowed you to see anything different, learn anything, and take some lessons from it?
No.
Okay.
That was straight Zach Wilson. No. I love that.
Me too, Chuck.
Whoa. Tone Diggs,
Oh, my God.
what did you hear there from Kenny Pickett, and what do you expect this weekend from the quarterback position for the Steelers?
I showed it to you yesterday as soon as I heard it, and I said I love that from Kenny Pickett. Like, I mean, the guy had to deal with one of the most buffoon OCs of all time, entire year. Okay, Matt Canada.
This year's Patricia.
Guy gets fired. Kenny in the next game, they go over 400 yards. He has his best game. They're letting him throw the ball down the middle of the field. Everything's great. He then gets hurt. Mitch comes in, stinks, absolutely stinks. And then Mason comes in and plays well. And now Kenny's like, I just had the best game I've ever had because, they finally let me do things, and now I get hurt. And now Mason's in a quarterback. He's obviously frustrated, and he's a gamer. He wants to play. So I loved that from Kenny. As far as who's playing this weekend, I don't care who. I don't care which one it is. I just want to get out there and get a W. Okay.
What does Pittsburgh want? They want Rudolph, I'd assume.
I think right now they're leaning that way.
Yeah, what have you done for me lately?
Wow.
Rudolph was throwing the ball all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think they forgot how good Kenny was post Matt Canada. I think there's a lot of people remembering what Kenny Pickett had been with the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is not a fantastic offense. And you see Mason Rudolph do what he does during the holiday season. It's like Rudolph literally brought happiness again to the city of Pittsburgh.
They're also forgetting, 3 years ago when Mason played, he had some bad games. So, like, time cures all in that situation. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. I prefer Kenny because, he's got to use the first-round pick.
Chuck, what was that face whenever you go, what are you saying?
It's one game. We're ready to put him in the hall.
Who?
Thank you, Chuck.
Flacco?
Rudolph.
Chuck.
Oh, you believe in Kenny?
No, the more let him go out there and start in that damn chaotic atmosphere in Seattle. They play Seahawks, right? Mm-hmm. On the road. Their biggest problem is going to be this, is like Kenny's pissed, right? Don't ask me that frickin' question ever again. Like we'd all be like, if you're a competitor, you want to go right over the podium and knock that dude out, whoever or woman or whoever asked the question.
Well, we don't want to miss.
Delta.
If he's healthy, all right, you can't lose your job because of injury.
I've seen a lot of people do that.
Yeah, Jameis Winston.
Yeah, that's all. That's all lip
Technically,
service.
right?
That's all lip service.
Technically.
we all understand in 2023.
But he's your starting quarterback, right? And he gets injured. This guy comes in. I'm healthy. So if he's healthy and wants to go, that's the tough decision for Coach T and the rest of the
Who was it in Dallas last year?
Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush came in. And like Dak, was he healthy? Was he not healthy? Each week it was like a conversation like, yeah, if Dak's healthy enough, he'll certainly go. Cooper Rush is getting the start. And then hot. And then there's a little bit of a shelf life to the Cooper Kush entire thing. And then Dak came back. It was like it was almost like the football gods were like, here you go. Now Tomlin has a starting quarterback, who just played his best ball. That's his last taste of his mouth, coming back from an injury. And he's like, trainer's going to have to say I'm good to go, but I'm not going to have to be 100%, which is kind of what Aaron was saying.
Yeah.
Whenever, if they were still in playoff contention, because the Steelers definitely are still in the entire thing. So it's like the football gods, like let's say they rest Kenny Pickett one more week. Mason Rudolph goes out and kills it again.
Well, then you got to stick with the hot hand then. Spend 2 games.
Have to. In Seattle too.
What a nightmare.
What a scene. I'm happy. I'm not over there. That's a former head coach right there thinking to himself, like, Tomlin has to be thinking to himself, have I not gone through enough? Has there not been?
No, worst thing happened to him. This kid went out and balled out and threw a 5-yard route that went 86.
Whoa. What about the other one down the side?
Couple deep shots.
Chuck does not believe in Mason Rudolph, it sounds like.
But in that situation you're talking about with Rodgers, too, like, has Kenny's play dictated this year where it's like, hey, even if he's only 70%, like, we got, like, especially after how Mason played. Like, I understand he's the starting quarterback, but it's not like you're putting a 75% Aaron Rodgers out there. Like, it's a 70% Kenny Pickett.
Mason Rudolph came out and said the quarterback room is good.
Yeah, great.
Better than previous quarterback rooms he's been in. He must be talking about Oklahoma State, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, really? Awesome.
Yeah, he was talking about Oklahoma State.
Big Ben, I feel like took a couple ricochets.
Well, yeah, but we don't know if he was talking about that.
Yeah. No.
He could have been talking about that. Oklahoma State had a bunch of competitors in that quarterback.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? They all wanted a job.
Don't go after Ben.
Gundy's showing him news.
Not the first time he's done it.
Thank you, Chuck.
Don't go after Ben.
I'm not going after him. I'm just saying I thought.
No, I'm saying whoever said
Yeah.
Mason.
You were just, yeah.
Yeah, because Ben will get down in that basement. He'll be sitting there with Spank.
Yep.
And he will just say, hey, listen, you need to...
Shut up.
Yeah. Why don't you just pipe down, old man?
He said, I got to respect, okay?
He said flapping him gums.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're better than that.
You're right. He was like disappointed.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was just sawing you down. He was disappointed in you. Hey, we love you, 7.
Love you, 7.
Bummed out.
Love you,
my
7.
ass.
He was bummed out. You said that. He was bummed out.
I was bummed out. He was bummed out.
Rest in peace to Butch Bechtold, obviously, Pittsburgh
Butch.
legend.
Miss you, Butch.
Man who served our country, obviously, admirably. Let's talk about another quarterback who people were saying maybe this thing's AI.
Ooh.
Maybe this thing's a robot. Maybe this thing is a gift from the football gods themselves. This is Jesus Christ from the football gods, placed into the belly of the San Francisco 49ers as Mr. Irrelevant and go on to be a perfect quarterback.
Yeah.
The only game that would go bad is the game, guess what? He ended up needing Tommy John surgery because of an injury that he had. Every decision he made, seemingly from the moment he put that helmet on and played in the NFL, brilliant. The pinpoint accuracy, brilliant. The moxie, there. The teammate support, there. The run, magnificent. And then he throws 4 interceptions in a Super Bowl preview game. And a lot of people that have maybe been laying a little low on the doubt of Mr. Irrelevant certainly got a little bit louder about their doubt and what realistic expectations should be for this man that fell all the way to the last pick of an NFL draft, who isn't bigger, stronger, faster than anybody else in the NFL, doesn't have a stronger arm than anybody else in the NFL. His size, not really maintainable and everything. Those people got real loud after he played against the number 1 defense in the NFL and the Baltimore Ravens that had a bad night. A lot of people want to write off the San Francisco 49ers, write off Brock Purdy because he had a bad night. You know, in football, that happens. So whenever I see something like this and I see the world kind of expose themselves on how they feel about a guy, I always wonder how the teammates are going to stick up for said guy. You know, we talked about this with the Broncos last year with Russell Wilson. There's a lot of things being said. We didn't hear a lot. We didn't hear a lot coming from there. Now, eventually they did, which kind of changed the way we thought things. But with Brock Purdy getting murdered by everybody, couple big names in that San Francisco 49ers locker room spoke up about it. Here's Nick Bosa with seemingly a big, fat tin of dip in his front lip.
Hell yeah.
Talking about Brock Purdy and everything he is.
I think it's unbelievable how he's played for the past 2 years, just being a young guy, rookie last year, and it seems like he's immortal out there, and nobody's immortal. But he's responded from not his best performances before, and I think he'll do that again.
So Bosa, obviously a jungle cat leader on that team. That's what he's saying about Brock Purdy. Let's go to George Kittle immediately after the game. Are the Niners dead, George? Are you guys all fugazi? Does that quarterback suck?
Uh-oh.
Is that Mr. Irrelevant again? Did he finally rear his terrible little head at the wrong time for the San Francisco 49ers?
Cool shirt.
No, it's kind of crazy. I felt really bad during the game. Like, a lot of turnovers and putting our defense in horrible situations constantly. They still did a good job, held them to a couple field goals. And then at the very end, it's like we score a touchdown, Ronnie scores, and then we're going down again. It's like, hey, there's 4 minutes left. Football, anything can happen. So proud of the way the team fought at the end. Proud of Sam coming in and, throwing some darts. Overall, yeah, we got our tails kicked in, on Christmas Day, national television, so it's not really fun. But it's one game, and we have an opportunity to, short week, go get another win. And, then it's just, hey, got to win the next one too. So it's on us. Disappointing, but it's not like the building's on fire and like that. Like, sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way. A lot of tips. There a lot of crazy stuff happened. So not incredibly angry right now, just disappointed, but I still think we have a pretty good football team.
Thought you're supposed to wear a shirt under that, but if you look like George Kittle, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Chuck Pagano, I still believe in the Niners. I think every once in a while you can get your ass kicked. Is that how you feel, or how do you think that this whole thing pans out for the San Francisco 49ers?
Absolutely. You can't overreact to that. He's right. The ball did go up in the air a couple times and land right in the Raven. Now, they forced them. They were in position.
Great
They were
plays.
breaking on the ball. They were hustling. Remember we said the play don't care what makes it, right? So if you hustle, good things are going to happen. They're still the two best football teams in the National Football League. Baltimore 1 and these guys are 2. And probably still going to see the rematch. Would be my prediction. Super Bowl would be Ravens and these guys. These guys got a great football team. That kid's he's gonna bounce back.
I think so too.
In a
Like,
big
they're
way.
out on Purdy. Got real loud. People were just waiting for this. Now, it's been a long time. Now, granted, they had that 3-game skid there in the middle of the season, and there's certainly some conversation popping up around that whole thing.
Okay.
And Purdy didn't play his best game. They were without Trent. They were without Debo. And they're like, yeah, you can't do it without Debo and Trent. It's like, maybe. Maybe you can't with the greatest left tackle in football. And maybe you do need Debo Samuel, who sets the tone for everybody. But whenever he has his team, he has been nothing short of phenomenal for over a year. So whenever these people have just been lying in wait to see him fail, I think that's only going to make it sweeter for Brock Purdy when he bounces back. Mr. Irrelevant, you think he's worried about one bad night? He had 3 long-ass days when nobody thought his football career was going to continue.
Play the worst defense by far in the NFL this weekend. It's a big bounce back week for them.
Who they got? Commanders.
Jacoby, look out.
Hey, he's starting. Jacoby Brissett is giving the reins early.
Fireworks.
What will that be? We shall see. A.J. Hawk will join us in the next hour, as will Desmond Howard.
Yeah.
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Take 3. We're about to break some news. Ladies and gentlemen, a franchise has called to its fans to find a new logo for their team. Cleveland Browns said we need a new dog logo. We put an elf in the middle of the field, and people had a little bit of a backlash because we have the dog pound. We are dogs. Now we need a new logo. So they said, hey, any fans want to go ahead and draw one? Go ahead. They have 2 finalists, ladies and gentlemen. 1 fan created, 1 internally created. And it is now time for the Cleveland Browns fans to learn their fate of the next dog logo. Bringing in the box that will obviously tell us what is the winner is Brownie the Elf.
Wow.
Brownie!
Brownie, get here. Does he talk?
Brownie,
No.
they just staring each other down. I do not believe he speaks. What's going on?
Stand up, Diggs. Come on.
Oh! Drum roll, please! So this is a dog
Buy it, Dahn, for the Dahn. Hell yeah.
Rated in wheat, Brownie.
Suck it.
Oh, let's go shake their hands.
Oh.
Let's go shake their hands.
Oh!
Truce.
Okay.
Hey, that was fun to see. Good AFC North. Brownie said
move.
last word. Brownie, in the elf community, how high are you in the hierarchy of elves? At the top.
Not more than Harry Potter.
Whoa. What about the cookie elves? They're pretty.
Whoa!
What does a Brownie the elf eat, if you had to guess?
Poop.
What do you eat? I don't know. What do you do?
Brownies.
What is it?
Did Brownie wear the whole situation all the way here from Cleveland, you think, in the car?
What do you mean this is every day? This ain't a situation.
Yeah, he wakes up.
He said
like,
this is a costume. AJ said this is a costume, potentially, and you're not an actual elf. That's what AJ said.
No, AJ.
No, not me.
AJ's up
AJ
there.
Hawk.
Right there.
That guy.
Right there.
Flip him off, Brownie.
Yeah, let him know.
Come on, tell him.
Oh! Brownie didn't eat. He eats bugs.
Yeah, he picked your bogeys.
Yeah, elves love picking bugs.
Yeah, they big. Is that the second favorite thing he eats, I wonder?
Oh, yeah, because
Bugs.
Brownie's number one,
Yeah.
bugs number two.
Bugs 2.
Dog poop around the stadium.
3. Yeah.
Dog pound.
Yeah. Yeah. For the dog.
He thought he was getting
Dog pound.
Ladies and gentlemen, okay, here we go.
That's not a free throw,
Right in
though.
front of the free.
Bunnies here, Brownie.
Oh, but that's it. You lose.
No.
Stroke.
Oh!
The runner.
All right, since you made it on the second one, we'll go 20 people, $500, because
Okay.
Brownie's an absolute baller.
That boy Brownie.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey. What? Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink. Damn it.
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Coach 'em Up Thursday, December 28th, 2023. Hour 2 of the program starts now.
Football.
Is happening tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Woo! Week 17 of the NFL season kicks off. There are 18 weeks in the NFL regular season, 17 games, 1 bye week. Now, that'll become 18 games, 2 bye weeks before we know it, whenever these TV deals are continued to be negotiated and money continues to escalate yodelly through the roof, with the ratings going bananas for the NFL versus everybody else. Roger Goodell has successfully taken Christmas from the NBA, by the way.
Big time.
Big time.
One game.
29 million to 5 million is the highlight of the conversation. So there's going to be 18 games, and there's going to be 2 bye weeks, but for now, there's only 18 weeks, and we're entering the 17th one tonight on Amazon Prime as the New York Jets and Trevor Siemian take on Joe Flacco in the Cleveland Browns. The Browns still have hope to have home field advantage throughout the entire playoffs and be the number 1 seed of the AFC. They would need the Dolphins to beat the Ravens. Then they would need the Steelers to beat the Ravens as well, and they would have to win out, and they could potentially become the number 1 seed in the AFC without Chubb, 2 quarterbacks, everybody on the... So many people. Stefanski should be in the conversation right now of Coach of the Year.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Joe Flacco should be in conversation of... Maybe he's the MVP.
He might be.
Maybe he's the most valuable player for a team. Because as soon as he's gotten there, they have certainly looked vastly different. Has as many touchdowns as the New York Jets have for the entire season in just a matter of 3-4 weeks. The Toxic Table is here. 10 of them, at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. And the man who coached football for 36 years, our coach, Coach Pagano, is here. He's 10-4-1 against the spread on these Thursday night football games this season. Chuck, as you look at everything tonight, what tells you what we should be thinking about for who's going to win this game?
You got the 32nd ranked offense, the New York Jets, traveling to the number 1 ranked defense in the National Football League.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Yikes.
Everything on the line. Jets have been eliminated. So all they're really playing for is each other and pride. Name on the back of their jersey, decal inside their helmet, all that stuff, right?
Sure.
Of course, yeah.
Browns are 5th seed right now.
Tape. Gotta get the tape.
They can clinch like you said, they can clinch a playoff berth with a win, and then who knows what'll happen. So Joe Flacco. I was at the Ravens in 2008 when we drafted Joe out of Delaware. Stud, absolute stud.
Good school.
And what he's done in 4 weeks' time, that you see the numbers and where he ranks amongst all the quarterbacks in the league right now. 1,300 pass yards is like 1. Touchdowns is like 1.
He called the Jets, too, at one point this season, saying, you need somebody?
Yeah.
I'll play.
Super Bowl.
Played last year.
Come on.
Still got my helmet.
And he's Paisan.
Joe Flacco. Didn't even think about Josefino Flacco.
Flacco.
Joseph Flacco. I didn't even think. Is that why you wore the Commendatore Orlando Leone?
One of the reasons.
Oh, where's that from? Where's that company from?
Milan.
Milan.
Beautiful city. Art. The art in Milan is unbelievable.
Also, the fashion. You see how good this guy looks. He looks phenomenal. Hopefully,
Wish I had his chains.
We can get you a couple
Go
of
on,
ball
Tony.
down there.
Take them off, Tony.
We can get a couple
Imagine
of
big old horn.
Absolutely. Well, you need a horn the size of Stellatos.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I don't think we're going to see a lot of ever.
Yeah,
He had his 15 minutes.
He's done.
He did great.
moment.
Hey,
Great
what
moment.
a run, Paisano.
Great moment.
I thought Mahomes was hiring him.
Now, I don't know. Maybe he might be in discussions. We don't know what Sean Stellato is going to do, but it does feel like his time's pretty. And Tommy DeVito said, when you're winning, they love you.
Yeah.
When you're losing, they hate you.
It's true.
That's just life, baby. And when you're winning, it's 20 grand.
Yeah, that's right.
And when you're losing, it's show up for free.
That's exactly right.
I
I
love
learned
it.
how to make cutlets
You did?
with Tommy and his mama.
With Rayos? What's it
Yeah.
called? What's the
Rouse?
what's the gravy? Is it called Rouse?
Rouse. I wonder if his name's off the labels already.
Oh, come on.
For sure.
It's all, when he's winning, everybody wants to.
I love him. He's a Paisan.
A lot of people were killing him in the comments saying, "This is how your mom makes cutlets."
Yeah.
Italian people
Yes.
too.
I was saying, no, you're getting jarred.
Jarred sauce, huh?
Yeah, jarred
And
I
sauce.
see him go with the Italian people.
The number of people too opening like Tommy Cutlets sweatshirts on Christmas, right as the news came in that he was getting benched too. I felt bad for a lot of those people.
This is almost like when Jimmy Garoppolo was given a sandwich at Subway, and a lot of people are saying, "You're not. This is what you're.
Yeah.
This is how." Italians are tough. You know, Italians is a tough culture because if you take any food deal at all, the Italians are gonna be like, "Why are you taking any food from anybody other than your grandma?
You're not making your own gravy.
Your family can't cook. What is this?
real.
You're not actually
Bingo.
So now you're being Italian, but you're not actually Italian.
Unless
Okay.
it's Fazoli's, of course.
I knew it.
Fasolini.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Of course.
And nothing against any jarred sauce,
And Pizza Hut.
No,
but you're not.
listen, I want to let
The
you
ones
know,
I
as a family that had jarred sauces and jarred lasagnas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I can certainly understand why you guys wouldn't necessarily love it, especially if you spend time doing this whole number
Sure.
and the whole, you know, that whole thing.
You
That
had,
was
jar-
unnecessary.
you had jarred.
What's that?
You had jarred
That's a little
lasagna.
unnecessary.
If it was possible,
Yeah, like spam.
if it was possible, you just open it up and it just kind of popped out.
Oh, lasagna.
Those 3 layers
Like
too.
the Pillsbury, yeah.
There was
Hey,
three-
Chef Boyardee.
Tony's gonna ask Mama, why didn't we have some jarred lasagna?
I mean, it's possible. Maybe a business people should get into. Joining us now is a man who has 10 kids, college football national championship ring, a Super Bowl championship ring, a president of Ohio Crown. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk. Oh, fresh cut.
Wow.
Fresh cut for the Hawker.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to the Rose Bowl, man. Had to get cut up for that. But first off, Chuck is lying. He is lying his ass off. He has a lot against jarred sauces. You know, he definitely is offended when people use jarred sauces.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. He makes his own, I think.
Yeah.
One of the first times he came on the show and he met Anthony DeGiulio, he said, "How do you make your sauce?" I think he even like said like something, and Tony was like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
So I was like, let me
we
ask.
started talking about
bone, and you
sauteing the
gotta leave the
garlic,
bone in,
sauteing
simmers
the
for 8
onion.
hours,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Chuck really, you know, he was teaching me words this morning I'm not allowed to say all of a sudden.
Why
you know?
not?
Oh, no,
Oh.
you shouldn't be dropping it into this brain, though. I want to let you know that because that's going to pop out somewhere. But yeah, it's been an extra Italian morning. I just want to let you know that. And I think it's because Flacco is potentially taking the world by storm. Everybody's talking about Tommy DeVito, Tommy Cutlets. How about Joseph Flacco out there out of Delaware up there in the Northeast? He's been leading a team in a fashion that none of us could have expected going into 2023. When you look at this game tonight, kicking off Week 17, already, AJ, we're at Week 17 already, brother.
Yeah, it is. It's almost January. Yeah, it's crazy how fast it does go. Every year we wait for the season to start, and then here we go. It's almost the end of it. But I think this game's going to be fun to watch, man. I don't know where Chuck is leaning, but I know where I'm leaning.
Yeah, I think the whole world is. What is the public? What is the public on the Cleveland Browns? I would assume
heavy on the Browns.
Yeah, especially, Ohio's a legal gambling state as well. So it's not only the fact that, yes, all eyes on everything on both of these teams is give us that one. 7.5, who cares? We've seen 20-point dubs. We've seen 30-point dubs. Right. We've seen 45-point wins in this NFL season. Everything's saying that. But that Jets defense has been questioned. They've been tried. Obviously, it was what happened last week at the end of that game with Jacoby Brissett coming back in there, doing his thing. They have a lot to fight. It's on prime time. New York, players, a lot of pride. Going into the offseason, too. What are we saving for? We got it there. Could be a good game. But what is the public on the Browns?
It's over 70%.
That means nothing.
Correct. Last week it was, 90 on the Rams last week?
90.
Yeah, so we can still feel good about the Browns, even though the public, who normally loses, in public normally doofuses, like me, just follow shiny object. What's the spread for? Who cares? This team's a lot better. Well, it's 3.5. Oh, you think that matters? You win by 3, you win by 10. Let's boom, bang, boom, bang. Feels like it's worked out for us this year a couple different
times. It hasn't, and it did it in a big way on Sunday. Not so on Christmas Day, the favorites took it on the shins, to say the least. Chiefs lost outright. Niners lost outright. Eagles didn't cover. But you said I think it's because the injury news for the Browns. Is it going to ever add up? Because now they got both kickers out and to go along with everything else that they have out.
Yeah, kicker and punter out. Kicker for them will be Austin Siebert for the. No, he's on the Jets.
No, Zerline's with the Jets. He's back. It would have been Siebert.
Yeah, both sides had kicking issues. Coming into
Riley.
the game.
So Matt Hawk.
Matt Hawk punting for the Browns.
And then Riley Patterson.
Riley Patterson, formerly of Jacksonville and Detroit.
Right. Hopkins was hurt, right, for Browns? Dustin?
Yeah. Yes. Dustin Hopkins, great kicker for them.
So close.
Stefanski actually said something about 6 points away. He might not be back for playoffs. So he's going through it right now, and that sucks for him. But good opportunity for Riley. Good opportunity for Matt Hawk. Greg Zuerlein, we believe, will be back tonight for the New York Football Jets. Hey, come on, boys. Let's have a good one tonight, AJ.
Yeah. What was your thoughts on the under?
Low.
Yeah.
In a Joe Flacco game?
Exactly. He might
you got
himself.
the Jets are number 3 total defense. You got number 1 defense in the Browns versus number 3 defense in the Jets. They do play defense.
30 what is the?
I think it's 34
and a half.
somewhere around there.
And Amari Cooper also questionable with a heel.
I would take the under.
So both sides getting to 18 points was the question.
I mean,
are the Jets going to score any points?
Yeah, Flacco's scoring 5 tuds. That's the problem.
We saw Simeon one particular evening.
Yeah.
The boys are going to love playing for Simeon.
Yeah.
Okay,
Really?
You remember seeing him, AJ? We saw him.
Yeah, of course. And we know this defense may
boy.
score or set up a score, though. We know this Jets defense.
Go ahead.
They can fly. No, this Jets defense, though, they could score tonight. They could set up a score. I look for them to make some plays.
Joe Flacco will give him one.
They will. Yeah, probably will.
It's going to be a 90-yard pass.
He's thrown 7.
Yeah, he'll give him
10 touchdowns, but he's thrown 7.
He'll get the ball to the Jets tonight.
He'll give you one.
But a couple of those last week against you, because they didn't have a kicker. So he's just throwing it up on 4th down, right?
Well,
just like a Hail Mary. That
time.
one gets intercepted, so that one really doesn't count.
We talked to Darius yesterday. We're like, maybe bat this down to save yourself 50 yards of field position. No.
So I heard you guys talking about that, and I know, that's been talked about. But guys got, contracts, and they got things in those contracts
Legacy.
that escalate when you make these plays. So that's a hard one to ask dudes.
Hey, listen, 4th down.
Hey, we would have the ball at the 45, if you didn't intercept that at the 1-yard line.
Oh, funny, Coach, because I got an extra $750,000. So are you going to give that to me, or are we all?
Bada boo. Sorry about it.
Hey, they shouldn't have put it in the contract. That's on you guys for putting it in the contract.
I was one away.
Not on me. Let's go to the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. Ooh. Bill Belichick, I got a chance to see live. Everybody got to see, I guess, that was watching. Second greatest year of College Game Day, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Last year.
Go.
Last year's number 1, this year's number 2. We didn't have that one cable network for the first few weeks.
That's right.
And
Spectrum.
Forgot about that.
Spectrum or whatever for the first few weeks, which was interesting because our show debuted
Plus, you didn't count
in the middle of that as well.
You didn't count the 20
And-
minutes leading up to the biggest game of the year either, right?
Well, I mean, okay, let's just talk about our blinders. Let's talk about our team. Okay, let's talk about our team. Let's not talk about what's going on anywhere else. But game day, wagon, obviously. Very lucky to be there, very thankful to be there. A lot of people see it. When Bill Belichick came on there was a lot of people that are like, that is the greatest Bill Belichick we've ever seen.
Yeah, who is that?
That is the funnest Bill Belichick we've ever seen. Holy hell, we're getting to see the human that is Bill Belichick, because in his press conferences, he is this mundane, dressed terrible, I ain't saying shit to anybody about anything guy, except for other teams' players that he respects.
Yes.
And we saw him on the Top 100 show with Rich Eisen where they won a damn Emmy, I do believe. And those matter. They won an Emmy. And he was fantastic in there about the history of the game. But whenever you ask him about a player that he has great respect for during the week, as opposed to we're on to Buffalo, we're going to get better on first down, second down, third down, fourth down. I already answered that question. I'm not doing that. He will open up. He has done like 4-minute diatribes on long snapping in the history. He's done it on punters, kickers, players on other teams that he doesn't think gets talked about in a good enough way. He will utilize that. Josh Allen this week is the man that he has massive respect for and is talking about. Here's him talking about Josh in his press conference.
I don't know, just kept different. Just kind of like Brady. I mean, once Brady got to a certain point there in 03, that's pretty much the way it was the rest of his career. Wasn't really like that in 02, wasn't like that in 01, certainly wasn't like that in 2000, but like once he got to a certain point there about the midseason of the 03 season, and then in the playoffs, and then from then on, it was, his level of performance and play and consistency was at the very top of the league. So, different style of play, but I mean, once those quarterbacks, usually when they get to that point, then they're able to sustain it. Sometimes you just don't know what the growth pattern is going to be. I don't know. It doesn't really matter where he was, where he is right now. It's pretty good. Really.
Growth pattern. What happened? What was that 6-second pause?
I think he was done, and nobody knew that he was done.
Never do.
Because when he started that answer, he was in character to not give an answer.
Bingo.
And then his brain remembered, I like Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I got
I think he was just so mad that he had talked for that long.
Yeah, he was disgusted with himself maybe, but he thought Josh Allen
am I doing?
obviously deserved it. He's seen Josh Allen a lot, obviously in the same division there. Anytime he's doing things like that, though, you're the one that he's preparing for. You're the one that he's thinking about. You're the one that he's watched hours of film on that particular week. And it's a huge honor. And I'm sure Josh Allen really enjoyed hearing that, AJ.
Oh, it should. I mean, I would imagine if Bill Belichick's sitting up there in a presser, the one shot on him, and he's praising you for 2 to 3 minutes as an opposing player, it's got to feel pretty good. But do you think Bill is strictly doing it just because he loves him and he wants him to get his props, or is it also a little gamesmanship? Hey, I want to make this guy nervous. Let's make sure maybe he feels a little bit more pressure this week. Like, what is it?
I think it's real because remember.
Yeah. Last year, after the Bills beat the Patriots, very close game, and Josh Allen had like an absurd 4th-and-1 run to convert inside, New England territory. So I think he just respects Josh as a whole. And we see this, you mentioned it, he did it with Rodgers. He did it with some players that maybe others don't view them as, upper echelon players. But I just think he loves Josh. And as a Patriots fan, I hear that in his music to my ears, because everything that he's saying is Josh Allen is a guy that, doesn't come across often, especially in a draft. And, he had 2 rushing touchdowns against the Chargers. He does stuff like this, and it's hard not to just be like, okay, on the run in a keyhole, 40 yards to Gabe Davis. And hearing Bill say that stuff just reaffirms New England Patriots are going to take a quarterback at the top of the draft. A guy like Josh Allen
good angle.
Doesn't fall past 7, which I think is where he got drafted. That is why I was so excited to hear about this. But also, Bill just has the utmost respect, not only for great players like this, but guys who come into the league have a rocky start. I think Josh started 6 games his rookie year and then progressively just got better and better. And I think that specifically is something Bill respects more than anything, is like a player coming in and just progressing into now an MVP candidate every year.
Bill's one of the only guys, by the way, that can go in the other team's locker room, find the quarterback, and go talk to him without the other coach being like, get out of my locker. Why are you talking to my players? That's just because of who Bill is. What do you think Bill's doing here, and what do you think it means for his relationship with Josh Allen?
I think everything that you guys said. throwing flowers at him because they deserve it, and Josh deserves it, and it's utmost respect. And he's sending a message to his team. He's sending a message to Josh, and Josh knows this, that he's going to get their absolute best. He knows he's going to take away. Diggs is going to have zero opportunities, if there are any, right, to take him out of the game. He's going to do something with the front, something with the coverage, take care of him. He's going to have a spy, ready to run him down, flush him and run him down. But and also, if you're Josh, you're listening to this too. You're like the expectation, like Bill's talking about me like this. I got another level of expectation. Like I got to play really well. If
I think that's the thing that like everybody in football understands. It's kind of like the Aaron Rodgers stuff, where like media potentially who have maybe been jaded or have a view about Bill Belichick, or fans from other cities that have hated New England for a long time have a view. Everybody in football feels the same exact way about Bill Belichick. Mm-hmm. If Bill Belichick is complimenting you, it's like, that sounds a little different coming out of that mouth. It sounds a little different coming out of the greatest coach and greatest GM in history's mouth. And it's like, I love whenever Bill starts opening up like that. But it feels like we're never going to get that on a regular basis because he's going to coach forever. We're never going to get Bill on a microphone on a podcast once a week, just like, hey, Bill, what were your thoughts on this game? And then him would just go bananas. AJ, I don't know if you saw, he isn't from the Belichick coaching tree, but he definitely cut his teeth in the NFL underneath Bill Belichick's coaching. And this guy is the original J.J. Watt.
That's right.
Defensive player scoring touchdowns all over the field. He's from the state of Ohio. They tell stories about this guy back in the day. He smoked a pack of cigarettes while doing a conditioning test and beat everybody. Now, he potentially was up later than everybody as well. So not only is he maybe still drunk, partially hungover, and smoking cigs, but he's outrunning everybody. Is anything I'm saying here a lie, A.J. Hawk?
No, I don't think you could sue you for slander on this one.
Yeah, this is true from what I've been told. And this man is like the alpha. Like this guy is, if you're going to go in a fight where it's just whoever can last the longest, this is a guy you're going to want on your side because he's an Ohio dude. He's mentally tough, loves ball, and everything that radiates from him is this confidence, not cockiness, but confidence that he can handle anybody. We love him here. Now, the team hasn't been as fantastic. They're certainly staring down a potential rebuild, reload. Who knows what the future looks like. But there's some video making its way out about how Coach Mike Vrabel coaches down there in Tennessee. Listen to this conversation with Treylon Burks. This is why everybody wants this guy as their head coach if he's going to be leaving from Tennessee.
Take a deep breath.
Okay.
Just do your job, okay? A lot of plays to be made. Take a deep breath, get the call, go play the next snap. Promise me? I got you. And whatever happens, go to the next play. You hear me? Let's go.
AJ, how about Braves with the pat on the chest? You hear me? Let's move along. I love seeing stuff like that, AJ.
Yeah, and especially with like coaching, I'm sure Chuck could talk about it. Like you have to treat each player differently. Like each player responds to different things. So you got to learn what your players are like. Hey, some guys you can get on. Sometimes there's certain times when you need to step on the guy a little bit and get after him. There's sometimes you need to kind of help him along. So yeah, I mean, it's Braves. He's evolving. I'm sure he's been like this for a while, but it's got to be. It would be fun to see Braves mic'd up for like a full 7 days, from like a whole game week. Can you imagine from when he gets in the facility, like until he goes home every night, how he interacts with every single player would be awesome. It'd be a really good like study in leadership, I think. Yeah. That's just a drive in at 4 a.m.
Beer. Oh yeah, sorry. Coffee. Beer.
Wide.
Chew spit.
Wide.
Vape.
Wide.
Cig.
Wide.
Zin.
Wide.
Coffee.
Wide.
Beer.
Wide.
Chew spit.
Wide.
Vape.
Wide.
Cig.
Wide.
Zin.
Wide.
That film.
Yeah.
Turn it on again.
Put it on repeat. We got a football game to win. Feels like there would never be somebody on his team who would elect themselves as a captain. Feels like nobody on Dan Campbell's team would elect themselves as a captain. Feels like nobody on Bill Belichick's team would elect themselves as a captain. Feels like nobody on Andy Reid's team would elect themselves as a captain. Feels like nobody on McDaniel's team down in Miami would elect themselves as captain. But I don't know if anybody has Jair Alexander on their team other than the Green Bay Packers. We ran this video yesterday because it was very topical. But as you watch the video, like I did 10 times yesterday, you realize that this is a movie. This is not real life, but it is. Here's Jair Alexander after the game. talking about the situation before the game in which he elected himself captain of the team without consulting with the coach or the team, although he says the guys had his back, and then almost messed up the coin toss so bad that they didn't get the ball in the first half or the second half, which would inevitably lead to him getting suspended in a must-win game coming up just 7 days from them. Here's Jair Alexander's take on the entire situation. This is real, remember, in 2023.
So were you supposed to be a captain? Because the team announces the 3 game captains, and you were the 4th, and you called the toss. What happened there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, it's only suiting. You know, I don't think Coach knew I was from Charlotte. You know, so.
So you just did that on your own?
I mean, you know, it was like the guys backed me up. You know, so they knew I was from here.
Did you realize you almost made a big mistake on the call, though?
What'd I do?
Well, you said we want to go on defense.
Yeah.
Which, in theory, they could have said, then you're electing to kick off, which you would have lost the opportunity then to receive in the second half.
Yeah, no, I told them that. I said I want our defense to be out there, and they all looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, I mean, it's pretty simple what I said. Like, I want the defense to be out there. They like, you mean defer? I'm like, yeah, I guess.
We heard you.
Did he say that to you?
Yeah, he did.
The mic was on.
Oh, what?
We heard you.
Oh, really? No, he was just like, defer. I was like, yeah. Everybody was like, yeah. Like, everybody was laughing. I'm like, what y'all laughing at? It's pretty obvious what I'm asking.
Pretty obvious here.
So did anyone say anything to you when you got back to the sideline?
No.
Why would they?
Why would they? Well, now he's suspended for a game, and obviously as a person who is not like a Green Bay Packers diehard fan, I'm pumped that guy's not on my team, but I'm pumped that guy is in the NFL. He would actually go on a post on Instagram, a highlight from the day, him being
nice. Okay. Looks good.
Him being captain of
I
the
respect
program.
the confidence. I respect the confidence.
And I think
Did he play good?
You should also respect the fact that he won the coin
They give
toss
30 to the Panthers.
and they won the game.
How about that?
Okay, so he won the coin toss and they won the game. Once again, he elected himself captain moments before they decided to walk out there, and he decided he was the one talking, which I'm sure there was already a full conversation by the other 3 on who was going to be talking, and he said, I'll take it from here, please. Hey, I'm from here.
Come on.
Now, there's a conversation that happens between coach and the captains before every single game about what you say, how you say, what the plan is, what the plan isn't. There's little technicalities that can get you. Like saying I want the defense on the field instead of saying defer your decision until the second half. It's like you potentially.
That's day one. That's day one of captains of coin toss. Hey, if we are going to defer because you will kick off twice if you don't. If you mess, you say, oh, we want to kick. They can technically refs. Cool, here we go. Boom, you're kicking off both halves.
Yeah, it's just like it's a part of the ceremony of the captain thing. Like, here's how this goes. Like, you go to court, there's a way you talk, there's a way you do it. Like at the captain thing, there's ways you talk. And normally it's a quick brief before you go out there with the coach. Now, if you elect yourself after that happens, you're going to miss that. I just mentioned a bunch of coaches that you would never see this for. If this was to happen, it would obviously make breaking news, and his post-game press conference is certainly making breaking news because he handled it. But, Chuck, what do you think LaFleur thinks as he sees him walking out on the field for the captain, and then he's also the closest one to the ref, so he's the one talking as well? And how do you think LaFleur is handling all of this from behind the scenes?
Well, what would those other 10 coaches, how do you think they would have responded to this after the fact?
I think Doring. Don't you think
Doring? Like if it was like Vrabel. Well, you don't know because you're standing there and you got your guys, and he could have run from who knows where to go meet those guys out there, right?
That was video. A sneak attack.
But would you love to see
sprawling?
No, he doesn't because like captains, and guys would be running from all over. Like the refs are out there, they're calling for captains. I remember grabbing guys, hey, and guys back here doing his helmet, doing whatever, and they run out there. So I'm guessing he had no clue.
You stand there and take a picture first, though, Chuck. I know in Green Bay, at least every game I was there for 9 years, the 3 captains stand there and take a picture from the Packers video guy, right, or their camera guy, right before you walk out, like helmets off, and then that's the picture they put up on the wall in the hallway if you win the game.
I know that's a big deal because Aaron used to poke his head into the back of all of them, right? That was like kind of the game. Where's Waldo? I don't think we did that in Indianapolis. It was always at the.
So was that's before they walked out, right, AJ?
Yeah, right before they call you to walk out.
So it was a sneak attack. Because they took that.
I wonder if he's in the picture. Is he in the? If he's in the picture of the captains from like the person is shooting towards the sideline? We need to see that picture. Is he like? Is it 3.5 guys? Is it half a Jair in there? Or what?
Yeah, is he like?
Yeah,
because if he's not in there and he just came from the 20, or the 30, whatever.
Imagine it's him like
Yeah. Could see that.
That would be so awesome.
in the side of the frame. Jair, you're suspended for a week. Let's start a podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Start something where he's
Such a
talking.
good player. He's a stud out there on the field. That's
Must win
I
this
was
weekend.
asking, how'd he play, number one? And then number two, like, to suspend him for a game?
Big deal.
For that, like, let's say nobody even found out. Like, he went out there, hey, tails, win, defer, they jog off, and nobody ever know. Nothing's posted. Is anything done? Would anybody give a crap?
If they all just agreed to say, because the question was, they announced who the captains were. And AJ just talked about that photo. I think it's a massive deal who's captain for the Green Bay Packers each week. I think it's probably a pretty big announcement that happens. I don't know. Is that accurate, AJ?
I mean, I don't know if it's like they don't make a giant deal of it, but yeah, going into the week, they say, hey, here's the three captains this week. And if you do the picture, and it's up on the wall forever.
Remember the
win.
horseshoe?
Oh yeah, buddy. It was awesome. But I think the Packers make it like like their newspaper, the media people, because that was how the question was asked by Schneidman, who did it. I think that video's got 20, 30 million.
Oh, crushing.
It's the greatest post-game interview I've ever seen in my life. I was thinking yesterday, I didn't want to deem it the best I've ever seen in my life. But after watching it actually 10 times last night, it just gets better and better and better as it goes. Halfway through, there's a new wrinkle. We heard everything you said. There was a micro. Oh, okay. All right. So, because he was trying to do a little dance there,
This could have been a great moment for LaFleur, like to endure himself to this kid and his players and stuff and say, hey, that's my bad, I forgot. This kid's from Charlotte. We usually take care of guys like this in these instances, and I didn't let him know in time.
And what if he wanted to go on offense, though? And no one told Jair. He just showed up. He's like, no, we're playing defense. But LaFleur wanted them to receive the ball.
I mean, maybe, but what he's saying is like LaFleur could have easily just this thing publicly, and then Jair doesn't do it. Now,
suspend him for a game?
That's a big suspension. But think about the way Gunther laid it out is he was not thinking about the team there at all.
No.
And it's like, I guess you're right. But also, are you thinking about the team with your best player on defense?
Yes.
Not being out there whenever they have a must-win game against the Minnesota Vikings and Justin Jefferson's back and Jordan Addison's a weapon. It's like, you guys are 96% chance to make the playoffs if you win these last two games. Needed on Sunday. And because the greatest post-game press conference giver of all time, just go ahead, I'm talking. You're without him. Ty, this has got to be a heartbreak. This has to be one of the most befuddling situations in the history of being a Packers fan.
Yeah, I mean, it's maddening. And then, like you said, would this happen on any other team? I mean, you name, Vrabel and guys like that, obviously, but, can you think of that, seems like this shit just doesn't happen in the NFL. It just doesn't.
That's why we have never happened.
This doesn't happen. This doesn't happen in, high school football. It's just crazy to think that. And then, like you said, I hadn't even thought of that, but I think that is a good way to look at it. Is LaFleur could have kind of just nipped this in the butt, but instead, they asked him about it, and he tries to do the Belichick route and just say, hey, we're just talking about Minnesota, when obviously this is a massive story. This is a huge deal.
Yeah, let's talk about Minnesota.
Yeah.
They got two great wide receivers.
They have the best receiver in the NFL, and you have a top 5 cornerback in the NFL who can't play this week because of this whole goddamn fiasco. It's crazy. I mean, it feels like you're just living in bizarro world, and I don't know. I really that's all I could think about is I can't see this happening for another team in the NFL. A guy who, and you don't want to go as far as to say he clearly doesn't respect the floor, but it's can you imagine someone doing that to Vrabel or Belichick, just being you know what? No, I think I'm gonna be a captain today. It's insane.
AJ, I watched that video 10 times, legitimately 10 times. At one point, I just tweeted the photo of just a screenshot of this. There it is. I just couldn't. Jair, I love you.
Love him. What's everybody laughing about?
Who's his backup?
Carrington Valentine, I think, is 7th round guy.
So where's that game at?
It's in Minnesota.
Where's he from? Is he from Minnesota? Because he better.
He might be. He might be.
Just to kind of.
Can you imagine if they put a bunch of
welcome
they
home.
just scorch the hell out of him. Justin Jefferson goes for 252.
Yeah, we have seen that. Nick Mullins
week
threw for 400.
Week 1 last year, Justin Jefferson had 150 yards in the first half against them. So yeah, I can't imagine.
I just would like to say, the confidence you have to be an NFL corner is obviously through the roof.
Yep.
Because you're out on an island, you can get exposed, and if you do, you got to line right back up with somebody who was probably just on the sideline fresh, and they're going to try to do it to you again. You're going to have to stop the bleeding at some point. You got to have the memory of a goldfish. You got to be up, and you got to be very, very confident. The confidence just to elect yourself captain is maybe only happening in the cornerback position.
Yes.
I think only the corner room. I think that is the only place it's happening, and we'd like to let Jair know. You're one of our captains, brother.
Love you.
Way to go out there. We're going to miss you on Sunday.
Keep it going.
Ty's pumped about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable. Like, it really, it just, what you can't even, what can you say about it? There's really, I get it. If you're not a Packers fan, like, yeah, it is objectively hilarious. Like, but this is the least funny thing that I've ever seen in my life. Like,
I'm laughing.
I'm trying not to rip
I
my
guess
hair
I'm not
out.
laughing with you.
No.
Yeah, I'm laughing at
but
you.
But I understand it. It's like, it is funny. Like, if I'm a Vikings fan, like, I'm going apeshit. This is awesome. This is the best thing that's
Vikings
ever
fans
happened.
are pumped. I'm just going to tell you from my standpoint, Vikings fans are pumped. Colts fans laughing. Patriots fans, I think.
Laughing.
Steelers
Very
fans.
much so laughing.
Lions fans.
Laughing.
Chicago Bears fans.
Laughing.
Steelers or Dolphins fans.
Laughing.
Chuck.
So Vrabel, right? So go back to Vrabel, right?
Vrabel laughing.
We just watched the moment with him and Traylon Burks, right?
Yeah.
Traylon knows he messed up. Traylon knows he's supposed to catch the ball. He's supposed to block this guy. He's supposed to do that. He's supposed to. Excuse me. He's supposed to line up. Supposed to
He's
line
wearing
up.
that boxing fit.
He's supposed to can't see the mic.
Hey, he's supposed to line up right.
Losing his eyes.
And Vrabel knows this moment. This ain't the moment where you go rip. You build a guy up, right? So Vrabes is probably, you win the game, right? So you have a chance to call this kid in and say, look, probably not a really good idea. Just make yourself captain without anybody knowing. So moving forward, guys, in a team meeting, this is probably kind of behavior we're not going to do around here. It's not like,
if you're from a place, let me know.
Be who you can afford to be, too.
let's
like
not,
Jair Alexander should be treated a little bit differently.
Let's not do this
Not
again.
going to start you the first series against the Vikings, okay?
Yeah, you're not even starting. So you made yourself captain. You're not even starting next week. Have to do it. Nobody can do this. You messed up. Let's move along. But instead now, out one of the best corners in football.
Any of the players? Do you think any of the players, not to cut you off?
Guys had his back.
Like, hey, who wants him suspended? Raise your hand. How many guys in the locker room, AJ, raise their hand and say, yeah, he's out?
0 people.
Yeah, I said yesterday, right when we first popped up, I was like, doesn't this seem kind of severe to suspend the guy for a game? That's why I'm thinking, is there other stuff going on? Who knows? I don't get it.
How about him walking up and saying, good? And the boys are like, yeah. And he's like, guys, I'm like that. Guys, I'm like that.
Yeah, that's probably defense.
They've never seen that before either.
No way.
You run in the... Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who is one of only 4 people in the history of football to have won a Heisman at the college level and a Super Bowl MVP at the NFL level.
Whoa.
An absolute freak on the football field. People also forget that he played 11 years in the NFL. You know, because everybody's so used to him having the greatest laugh on TV and maybe one of the best suit games in the history of television.
For sure.
And joining us every single Saturday morning on the left side of the desk on College Game Day for the last 18 years or something like that. This dude was a beast on the field, a stud as a teammate for College Game Day. Ladies and gentlemen, Michigan man, Desmond Howard.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I've been waiting all season long to be on this show. And the only reason, Pat can tell you, the only reason I haven't been on the show is because my work schedule on Fridays are just crazy. It's just ridiculous. And Pat and I always talk about that. So it's really an honor to be on the show. Big fan. So guys, thanks for having me.
Des, thank you for joining us. There's been a couple times in the past we tried to make it happen, but his Fridays are hilarious. Okay, so while, yeah, they're hilarious. So, Desmond's going to sit in the production room for about 5 minutes, and then what? Well, he's got to go shoot a 15-minute thing for this. Then he's going to sit for 5 minutes. Then he's got to go shoot a 20-minute thing for this. Who's watching that? I don't know, Des says. It's like, all right, where are these clips going? He's like, I have no idea. He films 40 things for Game Day every single Friday. We appreciate you doing that for the team.
Yeah.
Because I don't got to do any of that shit. And Herbie doesn't either. So we appreciate you, Des. But great to have you here.
Yes, sir.
Let's Let's talk about it. We talked to Coach Saban in the first hour. They're out there at Pasadena, went to Disneyland. He said right now it's all about kind of eliminating the distractions and keeping the guys focused on the Rose Bowl. He knows that Michigan has a great team. You've played in the Super Bowl. You won a Heisman. You've been at the highest level. How do you think this Michigan team is going to handle being in the Rose Bowl and being back in the college football playoff for yet another year, Des?
Well, Pat, I mean, we've seen this team all year long, and they've dealt with a lot of adversity. They have a lot of talent. J.J. McCarthy's one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. I don't think people really realize his potential because they don't use him in the same way as Texas may use Quinn Ewers or the way Washington uses Michael Penix Jr. But when he's called to throw the ball, we know that J.J. can cook. Defensively, they're one of the best defenses in the nation, but they're going up against a team that's red hot. Now, obviously, Alabama took care of Georgia in the SEC championship game. That put their confidence through the roof because they had just came off of a game against their rival, against Auburn, that they probably should have lost. But I don't know, Hugh Freeze and that team decided to only rush maybe 3 guys, and it was ridiculous. So they were able to win that game. But this Alabama team with Milroe playing the quarterback position, extremely athletic. He has a lot of confidence right now. It's going to be a great matchup January 1. I'm actually, Pat, at the JW Marriott where the Michigan Wolverines are staying. So I've been able to bump into coaches. I've seen Jesse Minter. I've seen Sharon Moore. I've seen Coach Harbaugh. So I'm here now, but I'm making the transition later on to Pasadena.
Okay, well, I like that you're embedded.
Yeah.
With Michigan right now. That's good journalism, Desmond. You've been doing a lot of that this year, taking trips, doing interviews, doing real journalism. I appreciate that. And I have to bring this up, and I know you have to be the voice of Michigan people on College Game Day for college football, but it's every year around this time Harbaugh has talked about to the NFL. Every single year. You've actually, that's been your answer a couple different times. It's like you could set your watch to right now, the conversation is Harbaugh wants to go to the NFL. He was asked about it yesterday. He was just saying we're laser focused on today, which is a football answer. That conversation gets annoying to all Michigan people, or how do you view it, and what does it mean for Jim Harbaugh in Michigan, you think?
Yeah, well, I think that for Michigan fans, first and foremost, they look at it as a distraction, as some sort of like recruiting distraction. Now, because this is the high point of recruiting season. We just had early signing period. And, after that, there's another wave. So they look at it as if people are trying to distract the recruits from wanting to sign or consider going to Michigan. And so that's kind of how they look at it. But, Pat, I have to be honest with you because you're my man. Love you as a teammate. I'm glad you're on game day. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. At this point, Pat, if I'm Jim Harbaugh, and if that's something that you hear swirling around, and I haven't had any indication that that's where he's leaning, that's where, he's going, he's thinking about it, because, I think he wants to go out on top this year and win a national championship game. So he doesn't want any distractions, okay? But if I was in his shoes, and the way that my commissioner handled this situation, it would be an option to me. I'm just saying as Desmond Howard, because I'm at an age, or you're not just going to treat me any way you want to treat me because you think you can. And that's what I would have a problem with. And Jim just had a birthday. I believe he just turned 61 years old.
Happy birthday,
Can you imagine, Jim. Pat? Huh?
Happy birthday, Jim. We just want to make sure we...
Yeah. Happy birthday to Coach Harbaugh. Hope he gets that present on January 1. But can you imagine someone at your age, at being 61, you've accomplished all that you've done in this life. You have a new commissioner comes in. He kind of treats you in a disrespectful way. So at that point, it will leave a bad taste in my mouth personally. So I don't know what's going to happen when the season's over, but I can tell you this right now, that they are laser focused on completing the mission. I've said this numerous times on game day, that they know their mission. And the mission is to get to a national championship game. And they look at Alabama as a team that's standing in their way.
Favored by 1.5 for Monday's big matchup at the Rose Bowl. Go ahead, AJ Hawk.
There's been coaches that have tried to coach in the NFL and college, obviously. Now, Harbaugh has been successful at both college and the NFL, obviously facing his brother in the Super Bowl, not able to win when he was the head coach of the Niners, but still very successful. What do you think he has about him that kind of gives him that, because we've seen guys try. It's just not that easy to coach both in the NFL and college.
AJ, that's an excellent question. Of course, we had my man Nick Saban on the show earlier. I watched Nick, and I got to tell you, Nick and I, we go back to high school. Nick was actually the guy who recruited me when I was in high school down at Cleveland St. Joe's from East Lansing. That's when he was on staff with Michigan State. And you guys talked about that earlier. And that's how come he has so much respect for the Rose Bowl, because, he spent those years in the Big Ten, especially at Michigan State. So I love Nick, and Nick is a guy who I got a lot of respect for. But he tried to make that transition to the NFL, and this is the winningest coach. I mean, 7 national championships, the winningest coach we've seen in college football, at least the most successful as far as championships, and he couldn't make that jump. So it's extremely difficult. I think, AJ, it comes down to being a guy who understands how to relate to grown men. Now, I live in Miami, guys, so I hear all sorts of stories about Nick Saban when he was with the Dolphins. And they ain't pretty, okay? And Nick is my guy, but they ain't pretty, bro. So his relationship, the way he related to players is different, as both of you guys know. The way you treat college players who are really relying on you, they need you, they feel as though you're their ticket to the NFL, as opposed to guys who are grown-ass men who got wife, who has a wife, they have a family, they got kids, and they're already established in the NFL. And so you can't talk to them, you can't treat them the same way you treat these 17, 18, 19-year-olds who see you as their meal ticket to the NFL. And I think that's the biggest problem a lot of these coaches have who are successful in college who try to go to the NFL. Look at Urban Meyer. I mean, that was another
Petrino, Urban Meyer, Chip Kelly. I mean, there's a long list of them. And I think the way you laid that out was good about how, the way you treat grown men, because in the NFL, it's like you're coming into our league. There's guys that have been in the NFL, just as long as you've been around. These guys have been around football a long time as well. In college, the college players are going into the coaches' league. Like, hey, this is your league. Right. They're the gatekeeper. You're the one giving the scholarship. In the NFL, not everybody, obviously rookies and stuff like that. But the vets, it's like, welcome to our league. Yeah. Now, we hope we're able to work together and win. And it's like some dictator mindset type, and it's very dramatic to say it like that, but running every moment of somebody's life and every emotion and every feeling is a very difficult job. That is not easy. I would not want to be a college football coach. But whenever you're talking about adults, you got to talk to them a little bit differently, especially if you want them to respond. That's right. And Jim Harbaugh has seemingly been able to do that very well. And he's interesting. I've never hung out with him. Interesting guy, too, right? He's one of one, it feels like this.
Yeah, Jim is he's a different cat, man. But the thing about Jim is that he's kind of different, kind of quirky, but he means well. And I think that when you're around him, you just get the feeling that he how much he appreciates and how much he loves his players. And I think that he was able to get that feeling across not only to college players, but to pro players too. I was with Andrew Luck probably about a month and a half ago.
Where at, Des? Where were you?
Yeah, I want to know.
So Andrew Luck and I, we were in D.C. at the White House.
Oh! Oh!
Yeah.
The White House? You were at the White House? Is that your first time there? Is that your first time at the White House?
Yeah, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was fun. It was cool. We were talking to Joe about college football, though. About
Joe.
Our sport.
Oh, okay.
The sport that we love.
All right. Hey, real quick. Dap up, Joe. Handshake, Joe. Hug, Joe. What was the interaction, Drew?
It was for me. It was handshake, Joe, and Joe was I'm gonna tell you, he was very engaging and he was very funny. Like, he told us stories, and it was a great moment. We had a lot of fun. So it was.
Has Andrew grown? Is Andrew 6'9"? What? Holy hell!
Joe's pretty tall too.
Look at you. Hey, let's go, Des. At the White House, Des?
Yeah.
You're at the White House.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, man.
That's pretty cool, man. But anyway,
I try to represent for us.
You said you were talking to Andrew Luck though there, and I completely lost my mind because you said you're at the White House. Yeah. I mean, that's what you got to do. But
that's cool, man. It's your show, man. You can do whatever you want to do. So listen, I was talking to Andrew, right? And we were talking about Harbaugh, and he was just saying like how how good of a guy Harbaugh was, how great of a coach, and how he endeared himself to his players, and how his players loved to play for him. And you guys played on, at the highest level. You know what it means when you can have a coach, whether it's the head coach or even a position coach, who kind of endears himself to you where you want to go out and you want to win for him. Obviously, you have self-motivation. That's how we all get to that level. But then there's something extra that may give you that extra boost sometimes. And he said that Harbaugh is that guy.
And there's a lot of extra boost, too. He was suspended for 2 games because of a burger.
Yep.
And then he was suspended for 3 games, right?
Yep.
3 games because of Connor Stallions.
Of course.
And what Connor Stallions was doing at the end.
Tony Petito.
So it really was like the world. They have a lot right now to kind of draw from, but so does Alabama with what the Florida State people have been saying. The Rose Bowl is going to be a good one. Tone has a question for you, Des.
Yeah, Des, last week we asked Coach Saban, because he's been in the playoffs so many times, and he told us he's tweaked the process of from that SEC championship and the long layoff, how the team practices, when they go out there, stuff like that. Do you know, is Michigan doing anything different this year, schedule-wise, stuff like that, or practice-wise, versus last year's college football playoff run that did not end the way they wanted to?
Yeah, well, I think that, first of all, the way I look at it as an analyst is that the referees inexplicably took a touchdown off the board that would have given Michigan the win. Inexplicably.
Just want to let's just settle that real quick. They lost that guy.
Off the board. Yeah, and it was crazy. For what? With no explanation. So now back to your original question. I do not know their exact schedule. I will be attending practice this afternoon. I think they're on the field around 1 o'clock. I know Nick Saban said, I believe his team is on the field around 12:40. So I think at that point, I'll ask that question. But I think they are comfortable with their routine. This is their 3rd CFP. So I believe that whether the outcome was the way they thought it should have happened, I still do believe that they think that they prepared properly for the game and that they're not going to change anything dramatically. I was kind of surprised though, Pat, that Nick says he never takes his team out to the new venue before they actually have to see the field. I was just as surprised as you, but like you said, they had that little number under his name. We had 7 national championships, so the process worked.
Yeah, hey, listen, you can do whatever the hell you want if you win. Now, if you lose all those times, maybe they'll say maybe they should see the place they're going to beforehand. Ty has a question for you, Des.
Yeah, Des, Pat mentioned the suspensions to Harbaugh and kind of all the bullshit that the Michigan team had to go through this year. I mean, it was arguably the biggest storyline of college football. But do you think we're past the point now where if Michigan does go on and win the national championship, that people aren't going to associate it with an asterisk like they were talking about earlier in the year, where it was, hey, if they win, it's because of the cheating scandal and all that kind of stuff. And now we're kind of a little bit more removed from that, and it seems like the game is kind of taking the precedent and all of this stuff has kind of fallen to the wayside.
Hey, Ty, I think that's an excellent question. And I believe that you're going to have what we call haters. I mean, there's nothing, there's absolutely zero that will change their mind, no matter what happens moving forward, right? But if you look at the big picture, I mean, we're all football guys. We know the sport. So this story broke, and they were playing Michigan State that night, right? The next week, they played Purdue. After that, they played Penn State. After that, they played Maryland. After that, they played Ohio State. Pat, you should remember this. When we were on set, when it broke and everyone was talking about this and that and this and that, I said, well, guys, you know what? I said the silver lining right now is that moving forward, there are no more excuses because everything is out there, right? If you think we're stealing signs, it's done now. I mean, they got Connor Stallions. You can change your plays. You can change your signals, whatever you have to do because you have that sort of time. So moving forward, it's a clean game, right? And then they took care of Michigan State that night. They beat Purdue. But then, on top of everything, the commissioner, like you said earlier, Pat, suspended Harbaugh for 3 games. He suspended them for the toughest part of their schedule. Not only did he do it then, he did it when they were on the plane going to Penn State.
That was awesome.
So they land. Can you imagine this, guys?
Not good.
You land somewhere, your biggest game of the year, and then you get the news, hey, our coach cannot coach this game. So, as you told Coach Saban, what did they do? They ran the ball down Penn State's throat for 32 straight plays in the second half and beat them with the substitute teacher. Then they went to Maryland and beat Maryland with the substitute teacher. And then they hosted Ohio State.
What happened, AJ? What happened?
Michigan won. Oh,
yeah, third straight.
So Ty, I would say, with everything that they had going against them, how could you put an asterisk by anything for them to accomplish what they did? They're not stealing signs no more.
Amen.
They did it with a backup with the interim head coach. And then if you beat Alabama and you win the national championship game, I think that's probably one of the most incredible runs we've ever seen of any team that's crowned national champs.
Hell yeah. Hey,
let's go.
I love it. That's just like whenever people were winning the COVID championships and they were like, should we put an asterisk on these championships? It's like, if the asterisk can explain that the whole world stopped, you're not allowed to sit next to each other, you're not allowed to really learn the playbook, coaches can't even talk to you, you're not allowed to even dap each other up. If you can explain that in asterisk and not say like, oh, that was actually probably the hardest year to win this entire thing, sure. It's going to be hard to explain this year for Michigan to people if you didn't live through it.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? It's going to be tough to be like, well, it was a hamburger. So who was it? Well, Michigan suspended them. Not the NCAA? Well, it was Michigan. And then end of season, who was it? Well, the Big Ten. Is that normal?
No.
Unprecedented,
actually.
So the NCAA hasn't even, not yet. And then they still make it to the college number one team in the country.
Yes,
it is a interesting tale over there with that Michigan team. You mentioned though them going to Penn State and just handing the ball off. Chuck has a question for you, Des.
Yeah, Des, 32 straight runs. So if they want to use that same game plan, and I'm assuming that Jim Harbaugh and this Michigan outfit are going to want to play this thing in a phone booth, win the time of possession, take care of the football, all those kind of things. You know, in this Bama team and this Bama defense in particular, which is a good defense, can they hold up from a strategy standpoint? Do you think, will they have to do something different from a defensive, perspective? Not a 4-man front. Can they play a 5-man front? Do they have to put extra defensive linemen in there to hold up against, the 2 and 3 tight end sets, a 2-back run game?
For Coach Saban, I believe so. I mean, Coach Saban told you guys, like from a schematic standpoint, they bring things both offensively, defensive that can cause you problems, cause issues, and that's one of the things when they bring in extra bodies, extra big bodies, and they want to play smash mouth football. So, but Nick Saban, he doesn't have those 7 national championship games by accident. I mean, he is the greatest college football coach that we've seen, and they'll make adjustments. And not only that, but not rumor. I know you guys know he actually went out and hired a former Michigan coach too, who's on his staff.
2 years ago, he wasn't around this year. You know what I mean?
He wasn't around this year?
Yeah, I don't think. I don't know.
I think he was around this year for a minute, and then they brought in Partridge, and then he was asked to take a different position, and then he left. Well, whether it was 18 months ago, 12 months ago, 24 months ago, he was there recently enough that he knows things.
Yeah. Well, Connor Stallions.
Yeah.
That guy.
And where's he at? Is he ever gonna? We'll never hear from him again.
Nope.
He's gonna have a new name, especially if we know anything about him.
Yeah.
New manifesto.
He's gonna have a new name, new beard, probably.
New face, maybe.
Yeah.
He's gonna. What a wild story and then explaining that story to people.
Oh.
There's this hyper obsessed guy. Yeah. Since he was a kid, just wanted to prove his worth pretty much. Mm-hmm. And he became obsessed with it. He was thinking on the sidelines.
The guy wrote a 400-page manifesto.
Yeah, manifestos only happen for people that are going to go serial kill, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly. Usually that's followed by a bunch of dead bodies.
Not funny. Okay? No. Great call, though.
Yeah.
That is very. Those manifestos, whenever you hear that word, it's like something terrible happened.
What's going
Who
on?
named it a manifesto, though? We have to name it in a manifesto, right? It's not like the person says, here's my manifesto.
No, I think it says Michigan Manifesto.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like the title of the article.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
I
know you guys didn't hear about that, but yeah, it was out there.
We heard about it, but I do understand where you're coming from. Yeah, like Koresh wrote Manifesto.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. So did Kaczynski, I believe.
They Manifesto.
Yeah.
Just
but then, like, the media gives it to people, though. Like, when these stupid kid goes and shoots someplace up, they'll say, oh, his manifesto, when it was just some scribblings that the guy had in the journal.
Yeah, this is 400-some pages, though. It's not a...
This is 400 pages, bro.
I need to read this. Can we read this, Des?
Yeah.
Can we get a copy?
I'd love to hear it. First, we need to know what everybody's doing all the time.
Yes.
So I need to go undercover. I need to get out there. And then I need to just look next to Harbaugh and say, hey, they're running cover 2. Harbaugh goes, how you know that? He goes, I just know. And Harbaugh goes, okay, we got a guy.
Cool.
we got a military guy that knows this entire thing. What a scene, what a story. AJ has a question for you, Des.
Des, what do you think about the speakers in the helmet that has been going on now, I guess, for the bowl games when these players, we don't have to hold up, pictures of Kelly Kapowski from Bayside High back in the day or whatever on the sidelines for these players. Like, do you think we're going to continue with this next year, hopefully, and they will have speakers like the NFL?
AJ, I think that's where this thing is headed. It makes zero sense that college football hasn't done this like before, like maybe 5 to 10 years ago. The NCAA, they had a legislative group that came out with a study, and they said that they wanted to get rid of this whole, I guess what is it, the in-person scouting rule that they had, because they thought they gave minimum advantage, if any, and it really wasn't worth the time and effort to try to police it. And what they proposed was doing what the NFL teams do. So I think that because of what happened in Michigan, and just because it makes perfect sense, I believe, AJ, that speakers in the helmets is going to be the way to go. And it's just, why would you not?
Des, one last question about college ball here for you from our friend Ty Pete.
Des, I don't know if this voice is familiar to you. I have a feeling you may understand it, but just curious, after the College Game Day in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where I was inside the stadium, unfortunately, because I couldn't go out there. Has the score been settled? I mean, I'll be honest with you. You got that great dig in on me. You said, hey, Pete, maybe, you did all this reporting. Maybe put your big boy pants on and come out here and kind of face the mongrels in the Michigan crowd. Just curious, has the score been settled between you and Pete Thamel? Because it certainly, a lot of people calling him Buckeye Pete down the stretch of the season. Certainly did seem like he had a little bit of an axe to grind against Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines.
Well, there was never a score to settle. People try to make, everything is clickbait nowadays. And so people try to make something small into something big, and that's exactly what that was. So there was never really a score to settle. Yeah, that's it.
I think you were trying to make a joke, by the way. Like, that's why,
That's exactly what it was. I thought it was funny. I thought it was hilarious personally. You know what I mean? But
you were talking shit, I think. I think, like, Des was talking shit, and then, like, the way it went, especially with how Pete Thamel became public enemy number 1 for this entire thing. It got taken the other way. I would like to let everybody know that College Game Day production room, we got a good team over there.
Yeah.
Hey, it really is. That's the first time I've been a part of a show where people have been around a long time. How many years you been on Game Day?
18 years.
Wow. Damn. That's your commitment.
18,
That's a long time, dude. That's a very long time. But you got a lot of people that have been around there a long time. Like Kirk's 28 years, I think. Coach Corso is like 30 years. Some of the producers been around 10, 15 years, 20. The people working behind the scenes been there a long time. It's a great family environment over there. You guys have created something special. Was there anything this season that like you'll remember as an all-time great moment for College Game Day? Like that JMU situation was bananas. 18 years of those memories, though. I've only been here 2 years. It's absurd every single week. Is there anything that sticks out over the 18 years of College Game Day, Des?
Now the 18 years, Corso, when Corso dropped an F-bomb, I think we were in Houston, and he act like, Corso goes, that's how he talks normally, but he forgot he was on air for a brief second and did the whole fake you out with the headgear, put one on, but that's not, he pulled one out, he didn't put it on, and then he said, F it, threw it over the desk, and then put the real one on. and he just did his thing, and he acted like nothing happened. But everyone else on the desk dying laughing. It was hilarious, bro. It was a moment.
What about this past year? Anything that will become a moment that you remember forever out of your 18 years over this last year traveling around?
Wow, this past year was very unique, for many different reasons. But I believe were we in Utah when you first took your shirt off? Like, I didn't think you were going to do it because it's cold as shit out there. And the crowd is like egging you on. I think it was Utah. And I'm like, I know he's not about to take this shirt off, right? And then you start unbuttoning and taking shit. And I'm like, oh my God, it's cold as shit out here. Bro. So that moment, man, was like bananas to me. I was like, shit, couldn't be me.
Yeah. Des has gloves on. Des will have gloves on. He'll have heaters in. He'll have the hat on, the earpiece on. There's no shame in Des. Nope. If that thing's below 40, Des is coming out in 6 layers. Mm-hmm. And that's a funny thought of you looking at me, gloves on, ear things on, 2 jackets on. Mm-hmm. They're saying, take what off? Like his microphone? God, you taking yours. Do not. And then that became a thing there for a few weeks. I'm happy that stopped. That was getting.
I kept going.
Very annoying. Yeah. Because like the headset, the microphone, the whole thing. Yep. And it's like, well, how are we going to shut them up? They're going to do this. The crowds are awesome, Des. The crowds are awesome.
Absolutely.
Always been like that?
We had a great crowd.
Always been like that?
This year it seemed like every stop, it just got bigger and bigger. And it was, man, we were so impressed with so we were on South Bend. We were up in South Bend for the Ohio State Notre Dame game. And it seemed like after every commercial, we had like this drone shot. It just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't know, Pat. Maybe these fans are starting to watch the show more and they're starting to compete with the previous show's crowd. It just seemed like that. Washington, when we went out to Seattle, Washington, especially that time in the morning, we're on air at 6 a.m. They start lining up probably like at 4 a.m. That always blows my mind. But it's just, I guess it serves notice to how popular the show is and how much people love it.
Yeah, and we appreciate the hell out of all of them for showing up. And congrats on building something special over the last 18 years. You're a great teammate. Your laugh is the best.
Infectious.
Somebody will be saying something else, and I'm just kind of like, let's say I'm just zoning. It's 3 hours there in the morning, you know, and somebody will be going through something, and then you'll just hear Des over there start popping, and I just look over at him and I see him, and I'm like, that just makes me feel better. It just makes me feel better. You're a good teammate, man. I appreciate you. I'll see you out in California.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
Did you know we had game day on Saturday? You knew that?
Yeah, man. It really messed up my whole vacation, to be honest with you.
You got no idea.
I was kind of pissed about it.
I didn't know we had, obviously, it's going to be a great show. We're going to have a great time. I'm pumped to be back around everybody and everything. But I was like, Rose Bowl, okay, January 1, we got game day, then we go to, okay, so I'm not the only, all right, okay. I'm happy to hear it because I felt like an absolute dipshit when I got the email 5 days ago. No. And they're like, we got a show on the 30th and we got a show on the 1st. And I'm like, are you fucking with me right now?
What?
We have
right.
I had no idea. Excited to do it, though. Can't wait to get out there. Lucky to be a part of it. Ladies and gentlemen, Desmond Howard.
Yes.
That's awesome.
The man.
I'm happy he felt the same way, though.
Yeah.
God, because as soon as I saw that email, I'm like,
this has got to be wrong.
Yeah, what are we doing?
The 30th. What are we?
April Fools?
So you'll be inside the stadium at the Rose Bowl?
Yeah.
Both days?
Beautiful setup out there.
That sunrise, too. That'll be a good 20, 30 minutes of
very cool.
cotton candy across the top.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous.
It'd just be that beautiful grass behind us.
Yep. So beautiful.
Empty.
Des is awesome, by the way. Des is great. I love talking to Des here. Yeah, and being able to see Des when I travel, we go around to the show on Friday, being able to talk to Des and see him week after week, he's always the same. He's always so juiced, so pumped, and you're right, his laugh, changes the mood in anywhere he's at.
11 years in the NFL. Never gets.
No, I had no idea.
Did you
kick off return for a touchdown in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, Super Bowl MVP. That's not normal.
No.
That is not a normal thing. Dog.
See ya.
See ya.
I mean, can we wrap up, Vinny?
That was not the touchdown.
It was also not Vinny.
But anyways, absolute stud.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's been nice to me. Very nice to me. Literally since day one, South Dakota State, when I went out there and I was Jackrabbits,
And I don't think anybody had a clue who I was that was on that set other than Kirk Herbstreit. So when I started, just like
going,
what are we doing? We got 5,000 people behind us. Are we supposed to just talk like this the whole time? Absolutely. How are they going to hear me in the back if I don't? You know what I mean?
Turn.
So once I start going, there's a picture of Des like looking and like his smile is like gigantic. And then as soon as the show is over, and you're no longer on TV, so you got to talk to other people. Des walks over. He goes, "Hey man, can I get a picture with you?" And I was like, "Yes, Des." But he was like, "That was awesome." And I'm like, "Thank you, Des. I appreciate that." We take a photo. And then whenever I end up coming back, like Des was very pumped. You know what I mean? Des was he's been very kind to me. The Pete Thamel stuff, he was the voice of Michigan.
Yeah, had to be.
And Pete Thamel was the voice of the Authority.
Right.
And they were certainly in there, so it was certainly a scene. So then whenever the Pete Thamel big boy pants thing, he was talking shit, I think, to Pete Thamel. But a lot of people were like, with how Pete was being treated at the time, I don't think Des meant any.
No.
Yeah.
It's not like he said #Where's Greasy Pete.
Buckeye Pete. Where's Buckeye Pete at?
He didn't say that.
All right, let's get to a break. We have Andre Johnson joining us on the other side. He's been named one of the finalists for this year's Hall of Fame class. He, alongside Reggie Wayne and Dwight Freeney, all former teammates of mine. Andre Johnson was a member of the Colts. People forget that. That's when I met him. He'll join us on the other side. Reggie Wayne coaching the Colts right now.
Yep.
A little bit busy during the whole thing.
Yeah.
And Dwight Freeney, I hope, will be on the program in the next few days. These guys all deserve to go in there. And anytime you get a chance to be teammates with a guy that ends up in the Hall of Fame, you want to see it happen because all the work that they put in, all the sacrifice they put in. And although Andre Johnson is known for being a Houston Texan, and you hear J.J. Watt talk about him, he was beloved in our locker room as well for his short stint. Absolute professional. Cannot wait to chat with him on the other side of this break. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Take 5.
What's up, y'all? Week 16, we're back with another episode of Undercover. We go around the league, find out guys who don't get the recognition like the big dogs. He's an undercover dog. He's an undercover dog for sure. My first undercover dog is Amir White, running back for the Raiders. This week he had 22 carries for 145 yards, averaged 6.6 yards a carry, in place of Josh Jacobs. 3 straight carries to ice the game, including this 43-yarder right here with 2 minutes and 35 seconds on the clock to seal the game. My second undercover dog is Justin Fields. Everybody here to chat about what he can do, what he can't do, should he go here, should we draft here? But Justin Fields have won 3 out of the last 4. He's had 2,731 yards, 18 touchdowns in the last 11 games. Against the Cardinals, he had 97 yards rushing. He had 1 touchdown. He had 170-yard passing and a passing touchdown. Athlete. My third undercover dog, I know you ain't heard of him because I ain't never heard of him. Ifan Mel Ifan Wu, the line safety, 3rd-round pick from Syracuse University. Only allowed 29.2 passer rating win target. This week, he had the game-sealing interception. These are my undercover dogs. Help me out going into week 17 because this is almost over. #undercover dogs. He's an undercover dog. He's an undercover dog for sure.
I had no idea what to expect whenever I came out here to Utah. Shock that.
Yeah,
Shock.
I can't make it.
Steve Smith Sr. Ladies and gentlemen, Pac-12 champion, head coach of the Utah Utes football team, pulling in on a Harley-Davidson Sportster, I do believe, Coach Kyle Whittingham.
Lot of blessings piling up that I ain't even wished for. None left over for y'all. I'm locking the fridge door at the crib, cutting hits. I read through the catalog, came to the conclusion no one's touching this. Just finished the maiden voyage, hopping off the Mayflower. Said I'm shot to kill them off, whatever it take. Now seen the boats, I'm at home. I'm selfish with the goals.
I mean, you got to do it. It is 34 degrees out here in the back-to-back Pac-12 champions, mighty Utah
Utah student section has been here in abundance. They've been loud. In today's a day where they showcase to the world that it's not just Mormons and soaking in Utah. No. It's great football and an incredible fan base. They've been so kind. I appreciate the hell out of you all. Have you ever thought something negative about a kicker before in your entire life? Yes. All right, relax, dude. Okay. Boston Connor was drinking with Dwayne Wade last night. $225,000. Let's remember this day forever, Cameron. You know that 29 out of the last 30 home games that happens right here at the University of Utah, the Utah Utes win. Cam Rising said yesterday, we don't lose at home, and today, they ain't losing. This place is going to be soaking in celebration this evening. You guys were absolutely that this is a town you don't want to I am jacked, dude.
Lighting's great.
Hey, what? Let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
Ah! The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Coach 'em Up Thursday, December 28, 2023. Hour 3 of the program starts now. Football kicks off Week 17 this evening as the Jets and Browns will play on Amazon Prime. That is AJ Hawk. The Talks the Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, 10 Diggs is here. Great hat.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Great chains.
Thank you.
Nice, slim, and fit body that you've been rocking lately, pal.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
How many pounds are we down this season?
40.
Woo, baby.
Really? Go. Whoa.
Normally you can go the other direction whenever you're talking about football season because like pizza, weddings, travel, work schedule. Instead, Tone went the opposite direction. Down 4D pounds.
Unbelievable.
Hey. Good for you, Tone. You defied everything.
Yeah.
You look great, pal. Look at that jawline with that beard.
Yeah.
Whole new closet you're wearing.
Yeah.
A little touch of gray on the chin.
Oh.
More than a touch.
This guy's majestic all of a sudden. Speaking of majestic, 36 years as a football coach. 18 in college, 18 in the NFL. I was very lucky to play for a team that he was the head coach of in the NFL, which is the Indianapolis Colts. He was down in Miami for a while. He was at Cleveland. He was in Baltimore.
Right.
He coached all over the world, and he's now the people's coach. Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Dahn.
Hey,
Joining us now
is a man who's in the Texans Ring of Honor. He's a 7-time All-Pro. I think he's 11th all-time in the NFL's history for receiving yards and touchdowns. This year, he is a Hall of Fame finalist. About damn time. I was very lucky to be a teammate with him. What a legend. What an icon. In Houston, he has a club, a sports bar, 80 Club, I believe is what it's called, a sports bar that you need to go to. And on December 31st, he and the Houston Texans will be collabing on some merch that'll be available at NRG Stadium. We're talking big brain. We're talking massive hands. Yeah. And a big bomb if you want some. Cortland Finnegan. Ladies and gentlemen, Andre Johnson. How you doing, man?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Hey, congrats on the Hall of Fame finalist.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well-deserved. Obviously, a long time coming. You and Reggie Wayne both going same time, Miami boys. I think this is a very remarkable thing. Is this something you put high on your checklist? Was this something that you dreamt about, thought about, or would you have been torn either way if it ended up not happening?
I think it's more once my career was over. I didn't really think about it when I was playing. I think when my career was over, I just kind of looked at my stats and things I had accomplished, and I was just like, damn, I really got a good chance of making it in the Hall of Fame. But that was never a goal of mine when I came into the NFL.
Well, I think whatever your goal was, whenever it came into the NFL, there's no way that you didn't exceed it. Mm-hmm. I mean, every time you play in Houston, what do you got? J.J. Watt and who? Andre. Mm-hmm. That is literally the team the guys that built the Houston Texans. And then when you came to the Colts, bro, everybody loved you. Did you feel that whenever you were in Indy? And is that how it was everywhere you went?
Well, I had a relationship with a lot of the guys there through Reggie and Edrin. And so it was comfortable for me. Coach Pagano was there, Coach Szczynski, all those guys. Coach Pagano recruited me to Miami. Coach Pagano was like family to me. So that made it so much easier for me to come to Indy. That's why there was no hesitation for me coming there. I didn't even take another visit after I visited Indy.
Well, Coach Pagano is here, actually, Andre, and I know he got all excited, almost emotional while you were saying that. Chuck, one of the guys you recruited out of high school is now a Hall of Fame finalist. Good eye, Chuck. Yeah. Good eye.
It was easy. Anybody could have found this dude. He was special, man.
What was it like in high school going whenever you were recruiting Andre Johnson?
It was awesome, man. Miami High. That was incredible. What was our head coach's name down there? My good buddy.
Coach Dahn.
Yeah.
Coach Dahn.
Yeah, he was incredible. I just remember, when we came, I tried to warn Butch, how quiet you are, and you don't say a whole lot. And you remember that home visit, right? And kind of take us through that a little bit to tell the boys and everybody watching the program right now kind of how that initial home visit went when I brought Coach over.
Yeah, Butch Davis was just like, damn, he don't really say much. So it was like, I was just really sitting there just listening, and they're trying to pull things out of me to get me to talk, and I'm just kind of sitting there we used to have this huge beanbag in the living room, and I just would sit on the beanbag and just sit there and just listen to the coaches, let them talk, and say whatever they had to say, but Butch was a little worried because Butch couldn't get nothing out of me when he was there at the house.
So is that just how you've always been? Because, you talked in the locker room amongst, you weren't obviously the most vocal guy, but you did talk. You're friendly with everybody. Always been quiet? That's just kind of who you are and who you have been?
Yeah, it was just more of me being comfortable with you. When I'm comfortable around a person, it takes me to be around a person a few times before I open up and really start talking to them.
So do you hate this entire process here of this Hall of Fame shit? Because you're going to have to talk to a lot of people, I think. You know what I mean? I think it's going to have to happen.
No, I can't hate this. This is, being a chance to be in football heaven. So I'll do all the talking they need me to do.
All right, well, it's a celebration of you, man. You've earned it all. Go ahead, AJ.
Andre, I'm curious about what was your off-season workouts like? And I asked that because I remember the clip of Devontae Adams talking about running full-speed routes in the off-season. He was kind of not knocking, but saying, guys want to show these sweet clips, going through the ladder and showing how sweet their feet are. And he was saying, no, go run full-speed routes, cutting in and out of breaks and everything. Do you agree with that? And what did your off-season kind of look like?
Yeah, so, at the time I came in the league, we had a lot of guys from Miami that was in the league at the time, and we all would meet. We had a certain date that we all would meet at the University of Miami and start training together. So you can imagine, you having 20, 30 guys that are all in the NFL, and we were competing against each other every day. So I don't care if we were out there playing, just playing basketball or whatever it was, like everything was a competition. So, I mean, you had guys that were playing at the highest level in the NFL and you were competing against them every day. There's a video that circulates too with me, Chad Santana, Antonio Brown when he was a rookie. We would all get together and do field drills at Moore Park. So those were some of the things we did, because we had a lot of guys that were from Miami that was just that were in the NFL.
That obviously hasn't changed. South Florida has a great representation across the entire NFL. Always will. That is just something that is a part of the football culture. But what you're talking about there with 20, 30 guys going back working out at the same time, it's well documented. There's obviously 30 for 30s about it. There's folklore about it. And there's dreams and fantasies that it'll happen again. Like, when? Do we think? Do we think Miami's coming back? Do we think the U's coming back ever, Andre? Where are we at in the belief percentage of the U coming all the way back?
I definitely believe it'll be back. Just looking at the kids now that are staying home, I think a lot of the kids were leaving. I think even Chuck can say this. When I was coming out, my class was the first class where we got all our scholarships back. And everybody that signed with us that year were pretty much from South Florida. It may have been only a couple guys that wasn't from South Florida. So I think when we're able to get the guys from home, we're able to be successful. And that's what Coach Cristobal is doing right now.
Coach Cristobal needs to find that guy that ended up going to jail.
Yeah, come on.
They need to find another one of those guys.
Yes.
The yachts and thoughts. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Andre. Yeah. We've all had 30 for 30s on that. Mm-hmm. And NIL was legal. Now, that guy was just ahead of his time. Yeah. That guy was way ahead of his time. Another team that seemingly all the way back is a team that you're very closely affiliated with, and obviously a city that you're very tight with. Do you still work with the Houston Texans? And how do you feel about what D'Amico's been able to do? Now, granted, without CJ last couple of weeks, whatever. But the future seems very bright down there. Are you around a lot? Are you in the building? What is your kind of day-to-day with the Houston Texans?
Yeah, I'm just more on the corporate side. Just going to a lot of dinners, shaking hands, kissing babies, things of that nature. But I go out to practice some days and watch practice and things like that. But the energy here, I've been to every press conference here, except for Dom Capers and for every coach that was hired. And when D'Amico was hired here, I've never seen a press conference like that here in Houston. You had so many people, former players. The whole city was excited, and we knew what type of coach we were getting once he was hired.
Yeah, and it's paying off. I mean, CJ Stroud seems to be the guy. There was conversations. I don't know if you kept up with all of it during the offseason. We had to because we're day-to-day in the sports world. They made up some tests that mattered all of a sudden. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
We just learned this Q17.
S2.
There it is. The S2 17 test. CJ Stroud, worst scorer of all time. It's like, well, we didn't know this test even existed. Long time. This guy's dumb. This guy, that's what they were saying about it. It's like, what are we talking about? And then he steps in there, seems to be the smartest rookie to ever play quarterback in the history of the game. What a home run with D'Amico. Love everything about Houston. Got people fantasizing potentially about. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, Andre, let's be honest. And I know you talked to him, so you can be honest with us too.
Because he lies.
Yeah, he does lie. He lies right to our face. But soon as the Texans clinch the playoffs, J.J. Watt's coming back that week, right?
I don't know. Why would I share that with you guys?
Whoa! Let's try. Hey, we're talking. Nobody knows.
Nobody's watching.
We're talking.
Pat, you ask. He knows you. He's not going to talk to me.
Well, yeah, you're right. It's going to take a couple times to talk to you, I guess. But he literally just told us that. But, JJ's lying to us.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
That's right.
He's lying to us. He's in a gym right there with Brad as if he was in high school again.
Yeah. Tested his conditioning a couple weeks ago.
He's in the building a little bit too much as if he's a player. And then Andre, and then a little bit, wait a second. It seems like the big whites may be back.
You never know with JJ, man. he's a guy who's always working out and taking care of his body. So you never know what can happen with him.
That's the shit he's saying.
Yeah.
That's the same shit D'Amico. Remember, D'Amico was
yeah.
like, we'd welcome JJ back in any
We'll take
fucking
him.
capacity.
Open arms.
He was. It's like, wait a minute, and he's still training, as if went down to Cush's house. Was like, Cush, maybe we get some of that Russian gas.
Test it out.
Look at this fucking guy.
Yeah.
Look at this thing.
I think so.
That's recent?
No, I think it looks like summer.
That was like a week ago.
That
Oh,
was like
still,
summer
I mean.
lift. Just a thirst trap, though. I mean, he posted it. He just wanted to let people know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wanted to let people know.
Dad bods, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the captain.
Andre, what does the next couple weeks look like here for you? And obviously with this Hall of Fame stuff, feeling pressure, will think about it, won't think about it, we'll talk about it when it comes up. How do you handle all this, you think?
Man, to be honest, I don't really talk about it much. I'll talk about it only when people ask me about it. I don't really I always tell people it's out of my control. I can't go out there and catch another touchdown. I can't catch another pass. So, I'm sure to be brought up a lot now, because the finalist list came out again. So that's the only time I really talk about it. Other than that, I'm just waiting and sitting patiently to see if it happens.
Have you pieced together what the party will look like in Kent if it happens? Who's performing, what's going on? Miami, a lot of connections. A lot of connections down there.
Yeah, no, I really haven't thought about that yet. But
in your head though, you just thought of yeah, right there. We just saw it. Yeah, I hope it gets to happen.
Yeah, I just had a.
What was it? Just so we know, you can say it.
I was thinking about Rick Ross.
Hey, he's working out right now too. I don't know if you see.
Yeah.
He's on that big estate that he has. He's got car shows. He's talking his shit, and he's working out right now. You might be able to go 4 or 5 hours. A couple Miami. You and Reggie both going. Man. Ricky Ross will be losing his mind in Canton, Ohio. Whew. We can't wait for that. We wish you nothing but luck. Congrats on all the success on everything. Can't wait to get to the Sports Bar 80. I've been watching some. It looks like a great time. That looks like a great time. Do you hang out there much? Yeah, obviously.
Not as much. In the beginning I did, but not as much now.
Yeah, I don't know how much you're getting done. You hang out there too much. You know what I mean?
True.
But certainly a place you need to stop by. Good luck with the merch and good luck with the Hall of Fame, Andre. We appreciate the hell out of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Houston Texans legend, Hall of Fame finalist, Andre Johnson.
Yeah, Andre.
You remember when he just beat the shit out of Cortland Finnegan? And everybody that knew him was like, that is very out of character.
Yeah.
Something had to happen. Cortland had to be doing something. And I was like, maybe. But what we found out was like, maybe should be. I mean, he handled.
Yes.
Big time.
Boom.
Got his helmet off.
Bang. I knew Cortland, too. I got a chance to chat with him every single time we talked. Great personality. And then you see that video, and it's like, I don't know if Andre's the guy you want to.
Cortland, what'd you do?
You know the quiet guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the most dangerous.
The quiet, like you never fuck with the quiet guys.
Well, their mind's not quiet.
No, but just sitting behind. And
that's when you know.
That guy is a monster.
Yes.
As you know. You saw him straight up in the locker room and practiced with the guy. When he came to the University of Miami, I mean, that guy, he was as big and as strong as he is now then, as a senior coming in. And you had to be a frickin' dog come to the University of Miami. And what you went through.
Used
to kind of earn your stripes there, the competition, and then those guys going back in the summer, like guys that get mad. Harbaugh would like get mad because Ed Reed wouldn't come around and Ray in the off-season program and stuff. And I was just like, Coach, trust me, they're working out way harder than our dudes are working out here right now.
There is
just
some
trust me
shit
on that.
going on down in South Florida.
Yeah, they are grinding.
They got the Russian gas down there.
Yeah, well, we said that. We don't know if it's true.
Okay. Maybe.
Deer antler spray. The Rock
Well, they
actually
definitely had that.
The Rock actually documented it during Young Rock.
That's right.
About the workouts and the conversations and everything like that. And he didn't even really get a chance to make it, but what he saw, who he saw, the U used to be the standard. Used to be.
Capital U.
The used to be.
Oh, like that.
Oh, no.
Shit.
Really?
Suck it, Chuck.
I don't like it either. You think I like the fact that Stubby is on the end of that?
Nope.
I want to talk about the U all the time. Could you imagine how obnoxious I would be on College Game Day if the U was? I'd be just everything they're about.
You think they'd be tied with Rutgers right now in the Pinstripe Bowl?
I was going to say, they're playing in the Pinstripe Bowl.
Speaking of the Fenway Bowl.
We got a ways to go.
There's a Fenway Bowl happening right now, which Fenway is in Boston, right?
Yeah, it's a Cathedral, Boston. Yep.
and Boston College was in it.
Oh, yeah. They're playing games in
dominated.
there every single year now.
And they were 14.5-point underdogs in Fenway as Boston College to SMU.
Idiots. I don't know what Vegas is thinking.
Boston College is beating SMU right now pretty good.
Yeah.
They end up winning? Congrats to Boston College.
Yeah, Eagles are back, baby. Look out. Hey, you know what? You should let Game Day know this weekend. We should probably block off 2 weekends next year because we're heading to Chestnut Hill, baby.
Well, the Duke's Mayo Bowl champions.
That's true.
The Kings of Mayonnaise.
Big win.
Did you watch?
Dominant.
I saw a good chunk of it. Yeah, big win. I saw him get dunked with mayonnaise. That whole situation looks like a lot of fun.
Nah, he had to have. I appreciate him taking the smart way out to knock it.
Who was Buddy eating the
Harry
French fry off?
That's Harry Lyles.
Harry Lyles Jr.
We like Harry Lyles.
That's right.
You've met Harry Lyles like 10 times.
Yeah, prick.
I have.
Yeah.
No, I was. Believe me, I've
Lyles or
seen his
Lyles?
fade. He had a sweet looking fade on there, and he's very good on the mic.
And also, he dipped French fries off the mayonnaise off of Neil Brown's waterproof jacket and said, tastes like a winner. You're damn right.
Yeah.
You're damn right, Harry. That's what West Virginia is. Garrett Green, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year candidate and projected winner after what he did in the Mayonnaise Bowl.
Hopefully. Who
now,
knows?
I have a question.
Sure.
AJ, did you ever hear of fucking Duke's Mayonnaise before? I never heard of it. I had Hellman's.
That's real?
Huh?
It's real. Duke's mayonnaise is an actual thing. I thought maybe it was a separate thing, like another sponsor.
Okay, thank you. I thought so too. Like Duke, like University, maybe made. Here's me putting Hellman's mayonnaise on my deli sandwich at 9 p.m. last night to celebrate West Virginia being the mayonnaise kings. And I put it out there, and obviously people say, "No way you ate that." I did. Okay, I finished the thing except for the crust. Had a lot of people attacking me. You're an adult. You can eat the crust. Why? Don't want to. Don't have to. Don't want to. And then there were some people that said, you put way too much mayonnaise on there. There's no way you ate that much. It's like, I did. We're the fucking mayonnaise kings. Yeah. Shout out to Garrett Green and the boys. And then a lot of people were saying, that's Hellman's mayonnaise. That ain't Duke's mayonnaise. It was like, I don't think they fucking sell Duke's.
Nope.
In any state that I've ever lived in.
No.
And I need you to watch your tone when you're speaking about Hellman's mayonnaise the way they were speaking about it, Ty.
Yeah, let's just be clear right now. Did a little research on this. Duke's mayo is the number 3 selling mayo in the United States. Behind Hellman's,
Miracle Whip,
Kraft.
Oh.
And then Duke's has kind of come in. I was surprised Miracle Whip wasn't up there as well. Apparently it was created in Greenville, South Carolina, so it is like a southern thing. But I mean, I don't particularly like mayonnaise, but if I am going to have mayonnaise, guess what? I'm fucking having Hellman's.
Now, I learned a little bit more about Duke's. Okay? This sweet lady.
Oh.
Okay?
Marianne.
Sweet lady. Eugenia Duke. She was the lady that had.
Sister Jean?
Huh?
No.
Eugenia.
That's Sister Jean?
No.
I mean, I'm sure somebody called her that.
That's her older sister.
But she's
I mean,
not
the other, the one that's with the basketball squad.
Yeah.
No, very different.
She's from Chicago.
This is Eugenia from Carolinas, from Georgia, actually.
Same age, though.
Then he moved to the Carolina. She was selling sandwiches for 10 cents a pop, profiting 2 cents per sandwich, utilizing her family's mayonnaise. She would end up going on to sell 11,000 sandwiches, okay, to the military. And then one thing led to another. Now they're sponsoring a bowl game in Charlotte, in which the West Virginia Mountaineers are the kings of. But a lot of people, I think, just assume Duke's is everywhere. I had never seen it before or heard of it. But if it's better than Hellman's, which is what everybody was telling me, I can't wait to try this.
We're going to have to try it.
Sounds like it's a Belk situation. Like the Belk Bowl used to be something, and I didn't know that Belk was like a mover and shaker in the clothes world in the South. That's like their Old Navy.
It's almost like when Commendatore Orlando Leone in 1947 in Milan said, I'm going to make this leather tracksuit company that is going to take over the world. It's like, I didn't know that existed until today. But then you read about it, it's massive.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's kind of what happened with Duke's last night for me. I had no idea that Duke's mayonnaise was a thing in Indiana.
No clue.
We need to try it. They put on a great bowl game.
It's in Indiana. See, that is something, once again, like Ty just mentioned, even when I go to the grocery store, which I frequent actually, never seen Duke.
That's because your eyes just go right to Hellman's.
Probably.
That's because we fought for the North, my friend.
Amen. And just to wrap that one
We
up,
didn't fight for shit, but you're saying where we're from.
Yep.
Got it. Yeah.
We're on the right side of history.
Yeah, well,
Just like
undefeated.
America versus Italy.
Mason Dixon, I wouldn't dream of going south of it.
11,000 sandwiches.
Pretty nice.
11,000
People are pretty nice.
I like the salad.
Back in the day, not so much.
11,000 times 2 cents is what?
22,000.
It's 15.
How much is that? 22
Which is
bucks?
$220.
Yeah.
220?
Said she bought a delivery truck with $220.
Different times.
1917 still?
That was
Really?
That was Model T delivery truck.
Or was it 2,200?
Could have been either.
Had to be.
2200 certainly makes more sense.
It's what, 50 sandwiches for $1?
Either way, those margins are razor thin.
So what's
That's because she wanted to feed the boys.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Jeannie
before the
Duke.
soldiers, she wasn't gonna.
Very
God,
unselfish.
11,000 times what? 0.02.
Yep. Bingo.
220. Yeah, we did it right first
Yeah.
time. Fucking good for us.
Boom.
Huh?
Boom.
Hell yeah, dude.
Boom.
220
People say
bucks.
we're not fucking journalists. We're fucking mathematicians, dude. Yeah. Okay?
don't know if I buy
Everybody
that
can
story.
suck it. What's that?
I don't know if I buy that story.
Because it's a.
It was a $50 truck.
Like a fact check.
What was it, a Tonka truck?
Back then?
I mean,
Build an empire off
there's
220
no
bucks.
way that Eugenia bought a new delivery truck for $220 in 1918.
Well, it had to be less than that, right? Because she still needed to buy bread and sandwiches.
Yeah, exactly. So what? She bought a brand new. I mean,
Brand new. It was used. She blue booked it and everything.
okay. Well, even so,
You can get a
what year are
Toyota
we
Corolla
talking
right
about?
now for $75 if you look hard enough.
yeah, you
believe
probably
that.
could. You probably could.
How much was Shinigami selling that car for?
Oh yeah, you're right.
I couldn't think of the name.
500, I think.
His car popped up in my head though.
A Model T was about $400 in 1918.
That was the top of the top.
Yeah. So you go down a couple levels.
Yeah, need the
Put
Model
$10
X.
down. Put $10 down. Finance the rest. She's fine.
Yeah, plus when the Depression hit, no one gave a fuck.
And she also had that mayonnaise in her side pocket whenever
True.
she was making deals.
That's probably the kicker.
Thank you, Eugenia.
Love you, Eugenia.
I guess your mayonnaise is great.
You genius.
Yeah.
Chuck.
Nail.
That's 100 miles on the black.
Wow.
All right, here we go.
Professor Pagano.
Now that you're doing this and saying these beautiful things, how you're saying them, let's make sure we're 11-4-1.
Come on now.
After this evening's game. AJ, as you know, this Italian here, he's wearing an Italian tracksuit, who's now wearing fresh white Air Forces as well to match and make the entire outfit real. Oh,
Wow.
oh,
How you doing?
how you doing?
How you doing?
How's the family? Should have maybe got some glasses there, but hey.
Oh, can you imagine the big blacks?
Hey!
Oh, here we go.
Put them on, Chuck.
Good catch.
Put them on, Chuck.
Is that Jair?
Oh.
Yes.
See you on the moon, brother.
Oh, my
How you
God.
fucking doing?
Hey, how's the family? How's the family? All right.
Espresso.
Charles
Martini?
E. Paganini. Pagano. Tonight, the Jets and the Browns will play on Thursday Night Football, the last Thursday Night Football game of the year. The Browns favored by 7.5 at home in front of the Dog Pound, a place you used to coach at. They're playing host to the New York Jets, who have Trevor Siemian as their third-string quarterback, but now starting quarterback. A great defensive front. Will they show up in this massive prime-time game in front of Al Michaels, his last game of the year?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's right.
He'll be tied up for sure.
I thought they get
Yeah,
one
has to.
playoff game.
Well, he was
Well, no, he's
supposed
not.
to.
Yeah, he's
but-
not.
No, Prime, I thought. Got one on Saturday. I'm not 100% sure.
Hey, maybe. Okay,
Maybe,
so
yeah.
what I was talking about is not doing the NBC game this year.
Yeah.
So this is potentially one of the last, if not the last time, we see Al Michaels this year. Kirk Herbstreit's going to be there, obviously doing his thing.
Yep.
Kaylee Hartong's going to crush it. Carissa Thompson,
White.
Gonzalez,
White.
Witt,
White.
Fitz,
White.
Sherm,
White.
Taylor,
White.
Michael,
White.
Ben.
White.
The dog is definitely out there.
I didn't see pictures. Ben.
Ben's there, yes.
Okay.
He's there.
Little baby Peter,
Of course.
super cute too.
Yeah.
So
he's
good.
there.
Pup.
Super
Good pup.
duper cute.
Oh, we were talking about a dog.
Chuck is 10-4-1 on Thursday night against the spread. Will he be 11-4-1? We shall see. Paisano Pagano, you're looking extra crispy today. We assume your picks will be nice. How do we see tonight going, and what are you taking?
I got a question for the boys, weather-wise. Do we know anything about
On it.
weather tonight?
That's a good question.
It's an issue.
You look awesome.
The Dog Pound's going to be. Can you imagine the atmosphere there tonight?
Oh.
You know, because there's a bunch of paisans too in Cleveland.
Oh yeah, Ohio.
And Flacco, you thought the damn
Weather's good.
Tommy Cutlet's crew was big. Watch this one.
Oh, really?
46 and clear.
You think the Italians are jumping on board with Joe Flacco? You think they're getting reminded? You think they're putting their tracksuits on from one side of Ohio to the other? They're saying, hey, where's my pinky ring? Joey Flacco's about to do his thing tonight. Where's the gabagool? Excuse me. Can I get a little penne pasta? Can I get a little Alfredo? Can I get some mozzarella for Joe Flacco tonight? And the Cleveland Browns to continue this historic run. Is that what you're saying is happening right now with the Cleveland Browns dog pound fan?
Absolutely.
You think they're barking, hey, hey, you think that's what they're doing in Cleveland?
A lot of Italians up there.
That's how they do it in Italy.
I learned that's not a good thing.
What is it? What does it mean?
You don't want to know.
Ding dong.
The Minga.
What?
Hey, so.
Means penis.
We're talking about Little Peter.
About weather. I asked about weather because, Zerline's been a little banged up for the Jets, so he's supposedly, going to be okay, I guess. He's a tough guy. Show up. Couple of the kickers got a situation for the Browns, so we got a possible new. Are you digging it? Should I continue with that?
I want to make sure we get the full. That's why I just told the boys in the back, let's make sure we get the full ensemble here. Make sure we're really taking it in.
You got Matt Hawk, we talked about, right? Riley Patterson. So Riley Patterson, he was 87.9 in the National Football League. That's pretty good. He's 50, I can't see what
there's a microphone back there.
58 to 66. So if he's got to get called into play, I don't think it's going to matter. In this one, the 7.5 worries me, Tone.
The hook.
A little bit.
It's always the hook.
The hook, because I can't buy a hook, half in here, right? I can't. If I could, I think that's a lot of people worried about that. But
if you want
the Jets are averaging 15 points a game, basically.
Oh,
right. And Cleveland gives up 20 for the season, but only 13 points a game at home. So you got Myles Garrett over there. You got Darius Smith. They've had a bunch of injuries. Stefanski's done an unbelievable job.
Big brain.
Jets, again, they're going to come in, want to play for each other, playing for jobs, playing for contracts, who's coming back next year, all that kind of stuff. But I just find it hard to believe that the defense will show up. They got some dudes on that Jets defense. They're number 3, Quincy? AJ. They're number 3 in the National Football League in defense. They got the Williams brothers over there, Quincy and Quinnen, wreaking havoc. Jermaine Johnson. Bryce Huff. He doesn't start, but number 47, keep an eye on Bryce Huff.
Player. He's been really good.
We've lost a couple linemen with the Browns. I think this right tackle, Conk is out, so
Wills.
They're going to have to make sure that they do a good job, take care of the edges from Cleveland. But the pass defense for the Jets, the one thing they don't have is they haven't been good at stopping the run. And I think Jerome Ford, Kareem Hunt have a chance.
Okay.
10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions for Flacco in 4 games, 1,300-plus yards. I mean, he's been outstanding.
4 games.
There's a chance that Jets could turn this thing over a little bit. But I just think 9-5-1 against the spread this year. They're number 1. They only give up 260 yards a game in defense. Jim Schwartz has done a phenomenal job with this Cleveland outfit. Myles Garrett. They're the 5th seed right now in the AFC. They clinch a playoff berth. When's the last time?
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, 2021.
Right, so that's recent history.
Yeah, but before that,
long time.
Not a lot of banner hanging. Not a lot of banner hanging.
Or parades
86
for good
or 88 the last time they won division.
What's going to be interesting is Amari Cooper. Let's talk about him, right? He's got a heel.
Yep.
He's questionable, short week. Little concerned if he doesn't go.
They're saying hopeful.
He's hopeful?
Yeah, they're saying for him, yeah.
Feels like he's.
Because I'd almost like one of those caveat deals. Like if he's in, I'm doing one thing. If he's out, I might do
You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to do that. That is waffling, which you have not talked about.
Waffle alert.
Waffle.
No more waffling right now. Right, you know what Tina's doing? You know what Tina's doing right now at home?
Shut up, Chuck.
Minga, paisan, don't start.
Okay, Minga.
Stop it.
Minga, AJ. Minga.
Oh, no. You better send a selfie to Tina right now. You know she is loving your look, Chuck. She can't wait for you to get home.
Yeah, she's talking about Minga.
Yeah, different way.
I hope so, AJ.
Yeah, you're glowing right now. Minga.
Date night.
You keep those shades.
You remember how my date nights were?
Oh, yeah, Minga. Yeah, we know.
All the kids.
Yeah, so if Coop goes, I think they cover this 7. I'd be hard pressed for me to take the Jets, although I respect their defense and stuff and whatever. But I'm going with the Brownies.
All right. You want the Coop thing?
No, hell no.
Okay.
Thank God. Chuck,
Hey,
is
thank God.
there a coordinator advantage with the Browns defense versus the Jets offense?
What did I say they averaged?
13 at home.
You said they scored
16.
10 touchdowns this year.
What they Denver?
Oh, Chuck.
Well,
He's talking about Sean Payton. He's talking about
He's
Sean
saying
Payton.
Denver's offense last year, Jets offense this year.
Yeah. Correlation there. 10 total touchdowns.
We might have to call the retirement home. This guy's out to lunch over here. I don't know if he knows
if
where
you're
he
listening
is.
close
He's saying
enough,
a lot.
I can't hear him because he's mumbling.
Well, he's saying,
Yeah, that's how.
a lot of good to see you. Is it? You know, a lot of.
Yeah.
How's the family? Hope they're dead. You know, a lot of.
Sure.
A lot of that right now. You know what I mean? A lot of ha ha. Whoa.
Mm-hmm. Look over here. Snowball up in the air.
So no vacillating.
Absolutely not. Cleveland, give me Flacco. Give me the Italian Stallion.
That's right.
Give me the Brownies.
That's right. Wait to go. Wait to do it. 11-4-1 potentially. I love that. You should play on a bocce team, by the way.
Yeah.
Are you on a bocce team?
Mm-hmm. You know what kind of vino we're going to be drinking
I like to hear
during
this.
this victory?
What's that?
Montepulciano di Abruzzi.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's a fine red.
Oh, it is, isn't
Sure.
it? So does it taste like, does it taste good or?
It's
or
like
is-
a Chianti.
Okay.
Oh, of course. Chianti.
Are you a big wine drinker?
Mm-hmm.
Sangiovese.
And brown.
How about
and white?
I have a beer too. If it tastes good. I mean, if you're serving it, I guess I got to drink it.
White.
Says Chuck, got to have a good time.
Truly every now and then.
How about it's not bad? John Daly came out and said he can drink 40 of his seltzers
Shocker.
that he made in a day. I don't know if that.
How many
Like-
cigs with that?
Well, that's 3 packs.
Need a live stream of that.
You're going to need at least 3 to 4 packs if you're going to drink 40 of those things. Chuck, if you had to go with your favorite pasta, what would it be if you had to?
The type of noodle?
Yeah.
I think I love rigatoni.
Oh, I'm with you, Chuck. I agree. Rigatoni all day. Yes.
Rigatoni. So rigatoni and penne similar but different.
Rigatoni's a spiral.
Yeah, it's good.
Undercook it too, so it's almost crunchy a little bit, a little bite to it.
Ooh.
You probably hate that as Italians. You probably don't like that.
Angel hair pasta.
Delicious.
We made homemade meatballs and homemade sauce for Christmas.
Did you put them on a sandwich bun or a sub? The meatballs?
A day later.
Boom.
2 days later.
Boom.
Unbelievable.
That's what Italians do, baby. That's what we do.
What's wrong with that?
He just knows that the correct way.
Meatball subs are just not a good sandwich.
I agree. Just soggy bread and
AJ agrees with you. Yes,
And
that is a win.
exploding out of the back. I know that's not
Yes.
good.
Boom. It depends how much sauce, the suku you put on there, though. You can't soak the bread in the suku.
No, but it ends up, I take a bite and the shit sprays all over my hand. It's like, why am I doing this? I could eat any other sub that tastes way better. Like an Italian
Where
sub.
have you been getting your Italian subs from? 'Cause
Yeah.
that's not the
Thank
case
you. I like Italian
everywhere
subs.
I've had them.
Excuse me, I've had the greatest Italian sub of all time since I was a little boy. Okay, Rudy Subs and Pizza, 286. How can I help you?
Do you do mayo on that?
Shredded lettuce. It'll be chilled from Rudy's. Mayonnaise. Save the Italian dressing.
Lord.
Don't be dousing the bread in that fucking shit.
No way.
Just give me the mayonnaise on there, and I love it. Gabagool on there, a little pepper on, a little ham on there,
Stop with the
provolone
If you
cheese.
put mayo on a meatball sub.
No, not meatball.
Talk about an
I'm
Italian.
talking about an Italian
Grandpa.
sub. We're talking 2 different sandwiches. One that's supposed to be and one that isn't. The one that's supposed to be is Italian sub. Best sandwich there is. That's the best sub there is. I've been eating the same thing from the same place my entire life.
What's the name of the place?
Rudy Subs and Pizza, 286. How can I help you? Worked there for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, love it. Everybody orders Italian sub there.
Rudy is old white.
Mr. Sebastian is the guy that founded the
Voice of the
place.
Mustang.
Excuse you.
And he is an old white, but I do believe he has some sort of Italian in him because he was part of the boxing community pretty heavily in Pittsburgh.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace to Mr. S.
Yeah.
Absolute legend.
Rest in peace,
Hope
sir.
you're happy.
He was the voice of the Mustang.
Thanks a lot, Chuck.
And he's also the godfather of the best fucking Italian sub of all time.
At the football games, first Dahn, so-and-so, he was the voice of the
In the
Mustang.
kick number 99, Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Mr. S.
I'm sorry, I'm bummed out that I've said something bad about him.
Should be.
That's the right way to respond.
Right.
I agree.
Chuck still doesn't respect his sub, but yeah.
No.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Put the sunglasses back on. What the hell?
Looks sweet.
You're eating meatball subs. I don't need to hear a fucking thing out of you about your sub delicacy.
Tell him, Chuck.
Okay, I don't need to hear that. Meatball subs are not. Meatball's great. Subs, great. Not supposed to be the
Chuck, next week when you're here, guess what we're having for lunch?
Yeah.
Yes.
Meatball subs.
Boom.
I don't want to fucking see him.
You know what I think I'm going to do?
What's that?
I think I'm going to make a fresh batch.
Of what?
Are you going to fly with them?
Homemade meatballs.
Where are you going to make them? We don't have a kitchen. We
No,
want to hire a
I
chef.
can make them at home.
And put them in a backpack?
Yeah.
I
travel with these meatballs all the time.
Put them in a carry-on.
Could you imagine Chuck Logano gets
If he was wearing that
TSA,
outfit,
yeah.
What do you got in there?
Sure, you got
It's
400
a bucket of
meatballs.
meatballs.
You never seen it?
Dressed like that.
What?
Oh, what's wrong?
Oh, let me guess.
Why are you checking a bag?
Let me guess.
It's only meat.
Can't have this gabagool in there?
Because I'm Italian?
Oh, wow.
Huh? Stop me.
Saw the last guy go through with some turkey and nobody harassed him.
So you're coming, you're showing up.
So I'm going to overnight them.
Okay.
There you go. There you go.
And then what? What are you going to do? We're going to eat meatballs? I like
Then we'll get a, I need somebody bring a stainless steel pot.
Okay.
We'll put it on the grill.
Okay.
Timmy, fire up the grill.
Okay.
We'll heat it up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And then what?
Who's bringing the
Where are
bread?
you getting the
What
bread?
about
Yeah,
stuff?
bread's the most important part.
There's got to be a place in town.
Does there have
You'd
to
be surprised.
in
Yeah,
Indianapolis, Indiana?
Can we get some bread here in town?
Rudy's will overnight it.
They get it.
I'm
That's
not
a good point.
wasting Rudy's bread.
We'll get
on
we'll get
fucking meat.
Mancini's to send some.
Rudy's gets it from Mancini. So.
Yeah, which is a Pittsburgh bread company. Has been around forever. Mancini family makes great bread.
What's the best Italian place downtown?
Here?
Doesn't exist.
Sabaro's.
Fazoli's.
Doesn't exist.
Always Fazoli's.
Always.
Olive Garden. Olive Garden, pretty good.
Yeah.
OG still got their fastball. if you
Yeah.
need it. They were canceled there for like 2-3 weeks. We were very worried.
Oh, yeah. The old spaghetti factory, obviously.
Domino's.
Delicious.
Mama Corolla's
Yeah.
is the spot.
Broad Ripple.
I think that is the
Right
Delicious.
That's right off the Monin, right?
Yeah,
It's the
it's a
first
house.
place I went to. Old style. Got the tablecloths, checkered tablecloths.
very good.
Sangiovese is
I
very
mean,
good.
San Giovese.
Buca de Beppo.
Buca de
Ever heard of
Beppo
it?
is very good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Got a lot of seats in there. Oh, every time I go in there, a lot of seats. A lot of seats.
That's where they had during the combine, special teams coach. Remember whoever got the special teams coach of the year, he had to buy dinner that year?
Oh, yeah. And
The
they would all
combine.
get drunk.
It was always at Buca de Beppo.
They would all get drunk and get mad at each other for different things.
Was that one right down from the Conrad?
Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of off the strip a little bit, little shady area.
It's the hidden pearl.
But it
of
is awesome. It's always good.
Right next to Giordano's.
Good Italian place.
Not
Good
another
Italian
good
place.
Italian
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas, great
so
pizza.
hungry.
There's a
right
new one
now.
on Mass Ave, actually, that's really good.
Italian?
Yeah, I forget what it's called. We know the owners.
Vicino.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah. I haven't been.
What is it? Pacino?
It's very good.
Like in.
They import everything from
The
Italy.
owners aren't Italian though, so
But they respect. There's
they
not
do.
a lot of Italian.
They
down
do
here.
respect.
So what? One Italian person would have to open 7 restaurants
Yep.
if it was only Italian-owned places out here in Indiana.
Yeah.
This is the most Italian thing that has been in Indiana maybe in the last 50 years. Just what happened here a little bit ago.
Might need Mama Corolla.
So,
to
are you
break
guys
her back.
are you guys down if we do meatballs?
Yeah.
If you're gonna ship them overnight, yeah,
I want them in a backpack.
yeah.
Yeah, you have to carry them. That
Dana,
is-
if you're watching, go get the goods. Let's
Oh,
get the,
are we rolling these meatballs?
oh yeah, you put the hamburger in there. You put the Italian
See,
sausage
now that's
in
what I'm
there.
talking about. Hamburger's
Eggs,
supposed to be a sub.
Eggs, Italian breadcrumbs,
You want to kill the animal?
Italian parsley.
What kind of hamburger you use, Chuck?
Italian
What kind of
parsley.
percentage?
90%, 80%.
Grass fed.
No, 90%
But like,
lean,
yeah.
80% lean.
Yeah, very,
Yeah,
very,
but
very,
like
very
Chuck-
lean. We even put a little bit of turkey burger in it, make it even a little healthier.
Ooh, okay.
What type of seasoning we put on these bowls?
Italian seasoning.
Mayonnaise?
You can.
What?
Yeah. Why not?
Just give them the Malloy. Just Malloy.
Hey, man,
Hey, buddy.
I want to.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Bring it. Bring it.
First
This will
thing
stab
I'm
you
doing
right in
too
the middle.
tomorrow when
This
I
will
get home.
stab you right in the middle of those fucking
I
horns.
wake up in the morning, I'm going to find me a horn.
No.
Goat,
No.
You know
No,
that's
no,
goat
we'll take-
sperm, right?
It'll be next
You know
week.
that's goat sperm, right?
No, it's not. This is not
Look it
goat
up.
sperm.
Tell him, Chuck. Tell him about the goat
semen?
sperm.
This is for what you were doing. My work right now. Bang, stab you. That's what it is. This is to protect myself from evil, right? Frank, please. This is saving me from bad spirits right here.
Absolutely, but I mean, Chuck's old school. He might know something from the motherland that I don't know.
Tell him,
Hey,
Chuck.
we don't do that anymore. How about that, Nick?
How about that, Nick? We tell this old man. We don't. That's not how we do it.
This
around
America,
What is it,
Chuck.
Chuck?
Well, he's
Clear it up,
piling on,
Chuck.
too.
What is it?
What is it?
You're jumping on board too.
You just
Ron.
told me I had sperm on my chest.
Goat sperm, though.
You're right. This is a good goat.
Yeah. Tell him why, Chuck. I know why.
Why?
I told you to tell him.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Fine. Go to silence.
You bring the meatballs. We'll figure out the horn,
So,
not the sperm.
You gonna make the gravy here too?
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to get anything to prepare that, or
We don't have a kitchen. We learned that after trying
bring in
to
a
find
hot
a chef.
plate. Bring a hot
We're
plate.
gonna figure it out.
That thing's gonna simmer.
We'll
for
figure it out.
8, 10
people
months.
still sending emails?
Hopefully,
Can we clarify the goat semen comment? What is he
it's
serious?
a horn. It's not semen. He's just saying that because I have one, and he does it right now. That's on him. That's not on me. He's saying more about himself than he is about me right now. That's all we need to know. He's getting a little emotional. You saw him throw the bullet, the Majorca. I mean, that is the devil. It is. Zeta looked it up. Here's why horn amulets are worn to protect sperm, among other things.
To protect it.
So you're protecting your own?
Yeah, it's about my sperm.
Saving the nuts.
Goat sperm.
It became a symbol of fertility after
They-
Zeus broke
You
a
guys
horn
think
from
I'm
a goat.
old and flapping and
I don't.
Jesus Christ.
No
I do
way,
not.
Chuck.
AJ, every time I come in here, I get the shit beat out of me.
Yeah, no,
I
Chuck, it's a compliment.
And I think, you know what, I'm going to step up. Mark DeLeon bought me this suit, ordered it from Milan. Con loaned me the glasses. I think,
There you
I'm
go.
going to fit
Put
in.
'em on.
I borrowed dirty sneaks.
You are with your team.
And I'm like, Minga, these guys ain't going to, beat the fuck out of me again this day. I mean, I'll build a bocce ball deal out back for you guys. You'll stop fucking beating me up.
Chuck playing bocce. Is that the pepperonis?
Chuck, I think
That's
Chuck's
the fighting.
the one underneath here
That's
measuring.
awesome.
I don't think he's Italian. I can just tell by the shoes he's wearing and the way he looks.
mean,
Thighs.
So way to go, Chuck.
You ever been to Lake Geneva, Wisconsin? Anybody?
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love Lake Geneva. Bro. We go there.
Oh,
Chuck.
seriously? Have you been there?
Yeah, I've gone in the last 2 summers. My wife was doing a house there, and we go check it out. Why?
Oh, yeah, he did
We'll
the show from
elaborate
there.
on
Remember he
next
had an
show.
Airbnb?
Oh yeah, yeah.
We'll elaborate on what we got going in August there.
Oh,
Are you in a bocce?
pretty cool spot.
You're in a bocce tournament in Lake Geneva?
There's bocce. There's going to be golf.
You're putting together like an Italian fest up there?
It's already been put together for many, many, many years.
By who?
You got invited? You getting a horn?
So they bring somebody in. They honor somebody every year. National Italian Invitational.
Stiletto this year?
Yeah. Cutlets.
You're getting invited to get honored?
Chuck.
So I looked at the list. Alan Amici was on there.
Oh,
Amici.
dog.
Joe DiMaggio was on.
Oh,
We got to pull
He's
up.
dead.
We'll pull up the deal.
Are you getting honored?
are you on that
You're
list?
the guy.
Sounds like it is.
Is there a
So
parade?
this year it's honoree.
Wow.
Congrats, Chuck.
Thank you. Very excited about it.
Let's make sure we tighten up that bocce game, though.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be some DiMaggio family members, I think,
So
that
the
can roll
Friday
the
night,
fuck out of a ball.
the Friday night is bocce.
Yeah, let's go.
And then golf Saturday.
Let's go.
There you go.
Banquet Sunday.
What?
That's a long
It's a lot of vino.
Yeah, I could imagine. Because I was thinking about bocce night. That's going to be a good celebration because you're there. Friday night, we're playing bocce, real social. Ah,
Yeah.
Rowdy.
Very
oh,
social.
hey,
game.
oh, hey, a lot of that.
Very
oh,
social
hey,
game.
let me pour. Oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, you know. And then golf, that's all. Hey, oh,
Yeah.
hey, whoa, hey, whoa. And then you got a banquet on Sunday.
Big Stokes. I mean,
Congratulations, Joe.
A dislocated
We're
shoulder.
proud of you. We're proud of you. What about Stellato? Is he getting invited or no?
too big with the patch.
Too much.
Too much.
How about you
I think he put the Maloiks on Tommy.
Maybe.
You know,
the whole
when he came with the
thing.
patch and the green suit. I mean, I think the Maloiks right then and there. That's
So,
too much.
You know, you and Lombardi. Lombardi was almost taking a victory lap. Oh, you don't say. Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
Starting over there. You know, you guys were like, there's shelf life on this. Just like any fresh Italian food, there is an expiration date on Tommy DeVito. We would like to see him get another opportunity, obviously, but we will be celebrating Chuck going 11-4-1 next week as we eat meatball subs.
Hell yeah.
AJ?
I'll do some noodles too, so you don't have to do the sub. I'll just do some. We'll do some rigatonis.
Not yet.
Okay, and we'll get some
Rotini?
nice little bowls, and we'll put the rigatoni in there.
You're putting
we'll
this on your backpack?
We'll put the succo, the sauce on it, and get some grated fresh Parmesan, some bread. Boy,
That's what it's going to say when you go through the TSA when you put that thing on there.
It's gonna come over the loudspeaker.
You know how it goes beep? It's going to go beep. on the way through.
I think I better change before I hit the airport.
Yeah, no.
Never.
We need to
Put
see
the
more
gloves
of
on.
these.
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking about trying to buy as many onesies as I can.
Yeah. Nail that to your skin.
Are you on the same side as the Paisano who's getting honored at Lake Geneva up there in Wisconsin this offseason? Do you agree that Joe Flacco and the Browns at home, the Italian stallion Joe Flacco at home in the Browns, can cover 7.5 against this Jets team, AJ Hawk?
Yes, I am going to ride with Chuck on this one. I don't know if there's much he could have said to sway me off of this, but it's the NFL. Who knows? What if the Jets come out and put up 21 in the first half? I don't think that's likely. So give me the Browns minus 7.5 at home.
That'd be a nice Kwanzaa gift. Kwanzaa started 2 days ago.
Yeah. Yep.
If the Jets were to come out and put up quite a front in a fight against this Cleveland Browns team, we'd all be pumped because that'd be good football.
Yeah.
And can we see Joe Flacco come from behind with this Browns team? It's all been good. Are they going to battle a little adversity? We shall see. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think the Browns win. I think Doug Pound has a good night.
Yep.
Give me the Cleveland Browns minus 7.5. Congratulations to the Browns.
Kind of a
all of us pick
revenge game for Joe, too.
Yeah, big revenge game.
Yeah, because he called the Jets.
Hey, got to play for you.
Double entendre revenge game.
Wasn't he there as the backup too?
Yes,
Last year, and then this year, he's sitting at home taking his kids to school, and he finds out Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, and he goes, I'm very in shape. You saw me last year. Can still do it. You guys what?
Nah.
We'll call you. Okay. I guess I'm going back to take
How pretty is that ball he throws?
It's a rough.
What did Aaron say? Aaron says it's one of the prettiest balls that we have seen. He said it has a little bit of a wind-up, but it's never really been an issue. Like some guys have big, long wind-ups, and it's an issue because they talk about it because defensive ends get the ball out. For him, because of how big he is, I think it's just like his natural motion. He fucking spins it. Joe Flacco.
His stroke is way up here, just it's beautiful.
Troy got him a couple times. That long.
It looks too easy. He just looks so smooth.
Remember, Chuck?
And he ain't scared.
Yeah. And that thing is coming in.
Yeah. There's one left hash, right sideline, 25 yards down the field, fadeaway throw, popping through Amari Cooper's hands whenever he's catching it on the sideline. Like, all these balls are so impressive, but he will give you one. Like, the Jets are going to get a turn. Here it is. Look at this ball. Boom. That's going through his hands, too. That's not like just getting there. That ball is popping through his hand. It's like still could have went. He's throwing it through Amari Cooper's hands there. I love watching the story. I love hearing it. That play off schedule, absurd. Jeez. Amari Cooper does a front flip bump. We don't know how he is. I don't think it matters. Njoku's going to score tonight.
Yeah.
Ford's going to score tonight. Joe Flacco's going to throw for over 250. And I think the Browns have a fun night in Cleveland for the first time, long time. They got real hope to maybe be the number one seed in the AFC. Wow. Why not go get it, Stefanski? Why not go get it, Joe? And on the way out of here, Paisano, why don't we win some people some money?
Hell yeah.
How about it, Chuck?
You go, Chuck.
You mentioned a joke, Elijah Moore, too, with Coop, if he's a problem. I like Elijah.
Don't let this happen, Chuck. It's not fair.
Come on, Chuck.
You know, wheelchair
business.
I don't like the way the one on the left is looking.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't like the lady behind either.
Yeah, what's her problem?
Double
You don't like
check
Italy?
All of these. Chuck's going to smack all of them.
You know what they need? They need Dez come through and just laugh a little bit.
Yeah, live.
Come on.
Maybe some weed, too.
Miserable.
Maybe smuggle a weed.
Gummies.
Couple gummies.
Sure.
For that golf game.
I love gummies. You know who loves gummies more than me? Mad Dog Russo.
Oh, yeah.
He talks. I mean.
Oh, yeah.
There's another Paisano, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He
doesn't seem to love family as much as most Italians I hear, which makes him really relatable.
Yes, it does.
Mad Dog Russo. We were on Mad Dog Russo's channel. First time I heard about him. We were on, and I understand. I get it. He's done a lot for sports media. I'm from Pittsburgh. We have our own legends there in sports talk. It goes by Mark Madden. Okay.
Still doing it.
So I didn't know about the Mad Dog.
Sure. Doggy.
Mike and the Mad
Yeah,
Dog.
Mike and the Mad.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. Happy to learn about it. Thought they were fantastic. We were on Russo's channel with Sirius. Terrible mix, us on his channel. We're the only ones that swore. He did not like us on there. None of his fans really liked us on there. The other shows didn't like us on there. I think by the end, they potentially had a little bit of respect for us, but it was not the right fit. So I just thought to myself, I'm going to hate this guy forever. Yeah, who cares? Who cares? And then now I watch him on First Take, and I'm like, I love this guy.
Yeah.
This guy's got a fastball. This is why the guy has a channel. This is why the guy's been around a long time. Full one of these for me.
When he does, what do you
can't hear you.
Yes. Yeah, what'd you say?
What's that?
When he does, what are you mad about?
Oh, yeah, he gets real close to the camera.
The balking.
Yeah, we barked every time we went on.
Yeah.
This is Mad Dog Radio.
I was so mad when you guys went off because I could listen to driving around Sirius XM.
Yeah.
And when that went fucking, I was like, fuck.
A lot of people were not. I heard that from a lot of people. Now, we were never told the amount of people that were listening.
Nope.
If anybody listened, we were told nothing.
There was a lot.
No, I don't think so. I don't know if that was
The
the case.
Paganos were.
Well, I appreciate that.
That's a lot of people.
And thanks for finding us on YouTube.
Yeah.
People thought we were going to be dead after we left Sirius as well. People thought we were going to be dead a lot of times.
Turns out.
That's because they didn't want us.
We only grew stronger. Just like you when you put that tracksuit on. Ladies and gentlemen,
Have you noticed the?
when this Italian throws this football into that hoop right over there, 25 people will win $500.
Here we go.
This is his first time wearing sunglasses for the throw.
Mm-hmm.
Also his first time wearing Dirty's Air Force Ones. Will that change anything? We shall see. AQ Shipley hit one yesterday for Big Nate Hartung. Did you see Big Nate Hartung too?
6'3", 4'11".
What was that?
What was that?
What?
AJ, you saw a big boy, right? 6'3", 4'11", 420 pounds.
How come
Hartung.
Miami wasn't recruiting him?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, come on.
Wasn't there an update on him, too?
Yeah, so apparently Rydell wasn't able to make a big enough helmet for his head when he was in high school. So Tony Saragusa actually sent him helmets
Wow.
for his football career. It's like when Shaq has to send some kid shoes. Tony Saragusa, rest in peace. He was the one with the massive dome who had to help out the high school kids who had too big of fucking brains, like Nate Hartung.
Wonderful story.
Shout out to Goose.
Yeah, love you, Goose.
He's actually recruiting. He's a recruiting coordinator now at Edinburgh.
Love Edinburgh.
It's a good squad.
Rest in peace, Goose.
Love you, Goose.
Tony.
What a unbelievable human being. Gone way too early.
I never got a chance to meet him, but I watched him.
He is
Hilarious.
fucking as real and as good a human as there is.
Legend at Pitt.
Speaking of, a lot of Italians in football.
He was great in 25th Hour, the movie.
He was also great when he was flipping houses.
You're right.
With his bare
Doing
hand.
man caves, too. Doing man caves.
Yeah, that's why he was fantastic.
He was Tony Soprano's driver, too.
That's a pretty good job.
Yeah. Holy hell, I didn't know that.
You never want to be sitting shotgun in those seats, in those cars.
not normally.
That's not where you. Hey, have a seat. You got shotgun. Great. All right, so you're blowing
Especially with someone sitting
brains out of the
behind you.
back of my head into the windshield.
Yep.
Who's
That's
sitting
great.
back there?
What did I do? I didn't say anything to anybody. Well, you happen to see something you weren't supposed to see. So I got to sit shotgun now? Sweet, I'm dead.
Okay.
That's the way things go, though. We don't make the rules.
That's the biz.
We just watch the movies.
Bingo.
How do you feel, Chuck? You feel good? Your moxie should be high with that thing. Commentatore Orlando Leone created the tracksuit that Chuck Pagano is wearing right now. And for those fine people in Milan, all the way here to the United States of America, Chuck Pagano, a man who's being honored amongst the Italians this offseason at Lake Geneva in Wisconsin with a bocce game, some golf, and a banquet, cigars, some vino, some pasta, some rigatone, and gabagool. And 25 people will win $500 when you put that football into that hoop right over there. For the holidays, for the Paisan! 25 people, $500. Paisano wins.
Man.
There's no better way to leave today.
How's the family?
How's the family? Fucking good. That was awesome. Way to go, Chuck. All right, 25 people, $500. Hopefully he's 11-4-1 after tonight, because that would mean we all picked right this evening, as we think the Browns are going to beat the Jets. That's AJ Hawk. The boys are here in the back. We can't thank you enough for watching. We will see you tomorrow. Be a friend. Tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Goodbye.